Okay, let's go.
Welcome in, everybody.
What's going on?
I can tell you what's going on. The weather in Tennessee is garbage. At least the projections of the weather is garbage. I can tell you that right now. So I am homebound, but I am going to be sitting here supporting Dustin as best I possibly can from the computer while he
Well,
is out there
hopefully,
attempting to catch some fish.
hopefully I can get some bait first. It's been a struggle. I've been on the water for about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, and I got no bait whatsoever.
That sucks. But
That
on the
it
plus
does.
side, we are joined by some very awesome people. So let's see what we got in here. We have Mike Sampson. Welcome in again, Mr. Sampy. Appreciate you always being here to support us. Mean Gene Squad, what is up? Let's see. John Boy's Catfishing. Hello, hello. Steve Ransom. Let's go. Everyone be sure to hit that thumbs up. Appreciate that very much, Steve. And Bobcat's like, hey, is it actually raining? It's supposed to be. It's supposed to start any minute. Last I checked, and it's supposed to rain up until right before 2 a.m. So yeah, I'm homebound. I wasn't gonna go play in the rain. My boat is still not running. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna work on it tomorrow. If I can't get it running tomorrow, I might just have to part with it, get a different one, man. It's becoming a nightmare.
I hear you. Boats are supposed to be fun.
It is. It is supposed to be fun, for sure. And Bobcat, yes, you are right. The fish don't care. However, my cell phone, myself, those do care. I don't necessarily care to get rained on if it's supposed to be thunderstorming. At least last I checked. Here, I'll just look it up right again right now. Hang on. I will let you know. Let's see.
I'll turn my
Currently
lights on
10.
here shortly as soon as I get my Compex light out. I'm just still trying to find some bait.
All right, so it has changed slightly. It's getting pushed back. So originally it was supposed to start raining at 2 o'clock. It was supposed to thunderstorm at like 5 or 6. It is now going to be scattered thunderstorms starting at 11:15, turning into thunderstorms and scattered thunderstorms, and then just straight showers. And it's not going to end until about 2:30. Yeah, the motor, Bob. It's still giving. I can't get it to. I thought it was a fuel problem because originally it was trying to. It was at first it stopped. It was acted like it was the carbs again. So I cleaned the carbs. Tried running it again. It was cranking, starting. Trying to start. I should say it's firing. It's firing. So choke it, thinking maybe it just needs a little choke. Well, then it dies. It's like I'm flooding it out. So then I was like, okay, so either A, it's getting too much fuel, or it's not getting enough fuel. One of the two. Obviously, choking it usually it gives it more fuel, which gives it. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're trying to give it more fuel, and with it dying out. So I originally thought maybe it's just the carbs again, but I had just cleaned them, so I was like, okay, I don't think that's it. So the primer ball on my on the fuel line. When I went to prime it, I could feel gas going both towards the motor, and then when I let go, the ball was going back. It was getting hard, but wasn't staying hard. And like I said, you could feel gas going through both directions. So then I was like, okay, maybe it's the fuel pump, because I didn't think about it being the primer ball, but the valve on the ball at first. I guess I'm overstepping here, but I pump thought it was fine. Ball, replaced the quick connect on the tank, replaced the whole entire assembly, the line itself. Just out of curiosity, took the fuel pump apart. Baffle was blown. Okay, fine. Bought a new pump. Put that on today. Literally the same problem. the balls actually stay hard now. It's not getting gas backwards like it's not supposed to. Then the pump obviously isn't pumping too much gas or have gas free flowing through it, so it shouldn't be flooding it. But it's still doing pretty much the exact same thing. Except if I go to choke it today, it wasn't dying. It just was never starting to start with. The spark plugs are brand new. They weren't fouled out. They're gapped correctly. The coils are all firing like they're supposed to. So the only thing I have left to really try is to clean the carburetors yet again, see if I missed something. And then to see if it's the computer on the motor itself. But I don't know how much it's going to cost me. And if it's going to be a ton, I might just look at either a new motor or a new boat.
Oh, looky here. I might have some bait in the net.
Hey, all right. You turn your lights on so we can see it.
Well, let me get first thing is fluttering, but let me get turned around so I don't get the net caught in the motor. That's the last thing I need tonight.
No, I understand that entirely. Bob was going to go, but decided not to go. He's going to go Monday. FOA, baby. That's right, Brandon. FOA. Team FOA.
All the way.
Bob decided to smoke meat and edit tonight. The meat you put on the smoker looked like it was going to be delicious, man. Although I will say you never did call me when it was done, so I'm assuming it's still going. Hopefully dinner will be soon. Bob and Doreen Fishin, hello. Said good luck on finding bait, Dustin. Appreciate that very much.
Oh, thanks.
For stopping by and saying hi. Oh, geez. Bob said, does FOA stand for Freaks on Acid?
Whoa, Bobcat. Negatory.
Whew.
Oh.
Float levels on the balls. I'm gonna check that tomorrow. We'll do best I can. I am not the best at carburetors. That's 100% a fact. It's very possible I am doing it wrong. So I'm definitely gonna mess with it. Could be the CGI. You have to know what the CGI stands for. I'm not familiar with that acronym. Yeah, then Bob said, "My bad, dude." So for those of you who are tuning in, have never been here before, my name is Anthony, aka Yak from Yak's Fishing Adventures. This is my buddy Dustin from Team Snaggin Whiskers. I typically fish Tennessee River. He's on the James River in Virginia. Hopefully he can get on some fish today. The weather made it so I couldn't go safely, and we're gonna cheer Dustin on here and try to answer any question you guys have. If you guys do have any questions relating to catfishing in general, feel free to put in the thing. But we are talking about mostly blue catfish tonight. That is the target species for Dustin tonight, and yeah, we'll hopefully get a fish in the boat. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Dustin. What were you trying to say, sir? Hey,
oh, no.
There's the lights.
I have lights. Oh, man. This is a bear. Well, what I was going to say was I really wanted to do this during the daytime.
The bait hunting?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I got here right before sunset, but there was a gentleman at the boat ramp who was asking me some questions, and we got to talking, and by the time I got to a place where I could launch the boat, the sun was almost already set.
Yuck.
And I mean, I came to the spot I wanted to come to. The problem is I'm not marking any bait.
I understand. That's definitely well. So when the boat was running, that was my struggle. I couldn't find bait. Now that the boat isn't running, I'm sure there's baits galore.
Well, another reason I wanted to do this during the daytime, sorry about the view of my backside here in a second, was because if I needed to, I was going to try to make a run down the river where I know there's bait, and it would have taken me probably about 20 minutes in the daytime, but it'd take way too long at night. Hey, I got something in the net. I got something. I'm just going to pull up. I'm sorry. I'm just going to pull up this first part of the net.
Hey, there's something. What is that? Looks
Get
like
that shad out of there.
Yeah, buddy.
A nice one, too. And then I'm going to drop the net back down. And maybe we'll get lucky and another one will swim in.
That would be cool. Brandon said the bite was hot here on Tuesday, and it was dead by Friday. 17 fish Tuesday, 1 fish on Friday. Well, as much as the temperature dropped over the last 3 days, that doesn't really surprise me that they did something funky. I don't know whether or not they're just moved or whether or not they were truly just shut off. I don't know. But, I mean, the heat index was like 106, and like today, I was outside all day. I don't think I broke a sweat at all. It was nice. It was in I guess it was in 80s or high 70s or something. It was nice.
I'm going to shut the light off for a second because I can't see anything. I'm going to try to back up so I can drop this net back down and maybe get another shad.
See, now we're getting mixed reviews here. So Brandon said the bite was dead by Friday. Bob said it was an amazing bite on Friday. I'm sorry, an epic bite on Friday. Fishizzle is Brandon, and Bobcat both fish the same area of the river I do. So the fishing report is good. Oh, no, he's being sarcastic. Sampy wants to fish on our show one night. So this particular show, we've been doing FOA members. However, I am more than happy to take you on my boat with me if you'd like to go sometime, if I ever get it running.
All right. So we got one. Hold on. One nice shad. I feel like every night we go out, something goes haywire.
Does for somebody at least.
Whether it's the weather, or it's the boat, or it's the bait. There you go.
That looks like a bait to me.
That or certainly is a huge,
maybe 3.
Huge gizzard shad. Now, just hope that I can get. I'd like one more. I can make that work.
I have two paddles in my boat. Okay, he doesn't have to worry about bringing a paddle. I got 2. It's all good. However, I am going to finish my dinner. If y'all excuse me for me, I'm going to finish my bowl of cereal here. I'm going to mute my mic, but feel free to keep asking questions, and I will chime in when I can. Other than that, let's just sit back and relax and watch Dustin put on hopefully a pro show with one single gizzard shad.
Watch Dustin struggle finding bait. All right, I'm going to give this about 5 more minutes. If I don't get any more, if I don't see anything else, I'm going to go pull the gill net, and then we're just going to make do. I got 6 rods, 1 big shad. We'll do a headpiece, and I'll make those body sections work. And we'll go fishing because I'm not going far from here. I'm going probably about 200 yards west of here.
So why'd you pick that spot?
It's an outside bend, and I could say that about technically any bend in the James River down below the city because the tide goes both ways. So when the tide's going out, there's going to be an outside bend, and there's a nice 50-foot hole, and the water temperature here on the James River is still in the high 80s, and we discussed this last week about water temps being, the active water temps for the catfish being anywhere from 55 to 75. And so I think I want to, well, I know I want to fish deep, and there's a deep hole over there. I think the tide has come in already. It should be flipped, and it should be starting to go out. Which way is my boat going? Yep, I think the tide is starting to go out. So I'll be able to fish the hole the way I want to. And like I said, as we talked about last week, deeper water where it's cooler, more steady temperatures, and outside bend and current. Those are the three things that I'm looking for.
I do remember talking about that. Now, when you say you want to fish the hole the way you want to, is it because of the way the cover is sitting in said hole, or what's the reason behind that? I mean, obviously, I know you were waiting for the outgoing tide to pick that particular spot, but why? What makes that spot able to be fished the way you want?
Because the way this hole sits, when the tide's coming in, you're fishing up the ledge.
Okay.
When the tide's going out, you're fishing on the back. You can go to the back side of the ledge and fish down the ledge.
Okay. Uncle Jeep, welcome in.
What's up, Jeep? How you doing, man? Welcome to the Butts and Guts Show. I'll give it about 3 more minutes, and I'll go pull that net, whether we got anything in it or not, and I will then use what I have, and we will go fishing.
Well, let's consult the. Let's get Dustin's opinion on this. I don't know. So Steve Ransom says this may sound like a crazy question, but do deep holes in the river get a thermocline?
No.
It's because of the current.
Correct. I mean, I guess it could, but I think because of the constantly flowing water, it's always changing. So there's nowhere for the thermocline to settle.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I know it has something to do. There's something to do with temperature, obviously, but I think it's more to do with oxygen levels. So the fact that the current's constantly circulating the oxygen is why you don't see it more so than the temperature.
Right. Yeah. The water's always oxygenated, even if it's at slack tide. It just got done moving. It doesn't take long for this tide to flip, as I demonstrated a couple weeks ago. And when I talk about how I want to fish the hole, it was exactly what happened last week. I was set up because the tide was going in a specific direction. It was going out. And I was set up on the back side of that ledge, fishing down that ledge. And then at about 1:30, the tide I thought was going to be slack for about 30 minutes. It gave me about 5.
Right. I do remember you having to deal with the boat turning around.
And so at that point, the boat churned. My anchor was all cattywampus. It held me, but it wasn't how I wanted it. And then I was no longer fishing the location I wanted to fish and how I wanted to fish it.
Right. What's up, Big Mike? He says, hey, y'all.
What's up, Mike?
And Uncle Jeep says, nothing sucks more than losing water when it's 112 degrees outside. Apparently, he's been having an issue with his well. He's been working on it for the last 48 hours.
Oh, man. I am sorry, man. Hope you get it figured out quickly.
He says he has water again, so I assume he did. Or at least has it at a point where it's not leaking anymore. Maybe not quite working 100%, but something.
All right. Let me point this way. Point this way. And I hope I don't run over my gill net.
Yeah, I need to figure out if we can use this in Tennessee. I don't know if we can or not.
No.
Well, then never mind. Thanks for answering that.
No problem. I'm not an expert on the Tennessee River, but I have talked to a bunch of people down there about that, and every one of them said the same thing.
It's probably because of the paddlefish, I bet. Or I mean, I'm guessing. I don't really know. Big Mike said he's getting set up with rods right now. I guess he's out there on the bank.
Nice.
Talk about using a gill net. He uses gill net to catch shad up there on the James River, and I didn't know if we could use them in Tennessee or not. Not something I've looked into or looked at, but I'm assuming Big Mike's also fishing on the Tennessee River. As for where, I do not know. Obviously, he is not worried about the weather like I was. And he did confirm what you said, Dustin, that we cannot use him here.
Not seeing anything as of yet. Not looking very promising, but like I said, we've got the one.
Which one did you look at, Mike? Because the one I'm looking at said it's supposed to rain from like 11 to 2. And had the radar showing green and red and orange all over us.
All right. Gill net is in.
All right, here we go. It's new show title. One shad. Can he do it? The one shad challenge.
There we go. Oh. I will tell you though, tonight is a beautiful night.
Like I said, it felt great outside. I wanted to go, but
It's first time at night I think we haven't had a chance of rain. But there's been a cold snap that's come through here. Tonight at 2 o'clock by the end of the show, it's supposed to be 67 degrees.
yeah, but it's definitely been cooling off.
Knowing how Mother Nature works, probably this time next week it'll be 110 again.
Likely. Here, well, again, last I checked, it was supposed to rain from tonight until Friday.
Wow.
Like not nonstop, but on and off.
Yeah, I saw the radar where there was a bunch of storms south of us, southwest of us moving east. There was a couple of cells northeast of us moving east out into the ocean, but there was nothing, thank goodness, coming our way as of yet. Is my volume okay?
Yeah, your volume's great.
Okay, good. I'm wearing my headset that Lisa gave me, the Shocks Bluetooth headset. Your voice is a little low, but I can still hear and make out what you're saying. So if I ask you to repeat yourself, that's why.
You're good. Is your boat motor on right now?
It is.
It is not picking up at all on your microphone.
Well, I will tell you that this is a Mercury 4-stroke, 90 horsepower, and it is quiet as a church mouse.
Interesting.
We could be on the water going 30 miles an hour on plane, and the only noise you'd have to talk over is the wind noise.
Interesting.
We could basically have a conversation going downriver. But
maybe I need to upgrade to a 90 horsepower 4-stroke. At least then it might start.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the only issues I've had with this motor is my own doing.
I got you.
And I had a problem with where the the motor would start, but then and I could put it in gear, but as soon as I tried to up the throttle, the whole motor started shaking. I thought it was going to tear off the transom.
Wow.
Ended up after I changed distributor, or I changed spark plug coils, I changed spark plugs, I changed anything I could think of, and it turned out to be just bad fuel. There was water in the fuel.
Okay. Big Mike says, "Hey y'all again." He went from having a wrench to not having a wrench. So I'm guessing he changed channels. But welcome back, sir.
I'll tell you what. There was I said, like I said, I dropped the gill net probably 4 or 5 times tonight. But I went back into this little. There's a bunch of little loops on the James River. They're the natural bends of the river. I think I've talked about that before. And excuse me. And there's this one loop here, not far from where I'm at, where I used to fish in the past when I was with Stan, and there'd be boats coming out of that. It's really shallow back there, and there's an old rickety bridge, and there was a particular boat that would haul butt out of that opening. You know, and of course its back end was buried, and it was a cabin or cuddy cabin ocean liner.
Yeah.
And it would haul out of that thing, haul in and out at nighttime, going like 20 miles an hour. And I was back there tonight. I'm like, I don't know if that boat's anywhere near us, but I almost dropped the gill net back there. And I'm like, you know what? If somebody comes through here, or if that boat comes through, he's going to run right over because he's not going to be able to slow down to pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
So I changed my mind. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go back to where I was. And as I was coming out of that little cut in the river, those been there. Guess who showed up? Soon as I was coming out of it, so he slowed down and putted along. As soon as he got by me, he hit that thing full throttle.
Crappie Day Darren has in, said hello, good people. Welcome in, buddy.
What's up, Darren? Thanks for coming in, man.
Well, Bob, to answer your question, I really hope it is not the computer ignition module, because that's a lot of money. Way more than I want to pay.
So the good thing for me is right now the tide is flipped and it's going out.
Nice.
The breeze that is blowing downriver.
Okay.
The water temperature is getting a little cooler. Right now it's 88.2, 88.3 again.
You're hoping for 85? I think you said, right?
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure down below it's down, at the deeper depths, 30, 40 feet, it's probably a couple degrees cooler.
Sure.
I'm surprised though, because the temperature's been in the 70s the last couple of days, and the water temperature when I got here was still 90.
Jeez. Mullet Man number 7 says Dustin and Anthony.
What's up, Mullet Man? I almost caught some mullet today, except for I didn't throw my cast net just because it's too heavy right now.
Your cast net's heavier now than it normally is?
Well, I think I told that story. Austin tore my cast net. I had a smaller one. It was about an 8-footer.
Yeah.
And he did ask me. He's like, he said, I'm going to buy you a new one. What size do you want? I said, well, I'd like the heavier ones because Stan 3 had a nice heavy one that I was able to throw really nice, and it sunk faster.
Right.
So he bought me a 10-footer. I think it's a pound per inch or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that sucker is heavy and it's long, and I'm still trying to learn how to throw that big net off of my boat, because that's always a trick. Is I get things that get snagged easily, and I'm still trying to learn how to throw that thing. Plus, trying to coil it up and get it unsnagged and straightened up, and it's a bear. But I'll figure it out one of these days. All right, I'm about where I want to be. It'll go in from 24 feet, 26, 27. Wait, you're going the wrong direction. What are you doing? Go right now. And I will say I picked this location too because it's closer to my house. There is a spot that my neighbor has gone to the last couple of days, and he said he pulled out 9 fish over 30 pounds.
Wow.
But that's about. Well, I guess I could have gone down to Jordan Point, but he said when he was down there today, the wind was blowing and there was about 2-foot swells, and I wasn't wanting to deal with that.
No, I got you.
All right, I know I'm getting close because there's this white dock. This hole I'm going to, like I said, it's about 50 feet deep.
Okay.
It's the hole where Stan caught his sturgeon.
Ah, yes.
I talked to a gentleman at the boat dock today, and he said that he has seen a couple. He said, I've seen some things jump out of the water. I didn't know what they were. I said, well, if they're clearing the water like that, they're sturgeon, if they're that big.
Yeah, I know when
There we
Shane
go.
looked in that one a few months ago, it cleared the water a couple times. It's pretty cool how much they clear the water for as big as they are.
Oh, I've seen 6.5 footers clear the water.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
I really wish I had some sort of thermometer that I could stick down. You know, I can put it down 30 feet and see what the temperature is down there just to test it. I know I talked to Epic one time, and he said when you're dealing with the river and the water is constantly flowing and churning, all that water is getting all mixed in, and your surface temperature is usually similar to your, the undersurface. But I don't know how deep that goes.
Sure. Uh-oh, there we go. Guerrero Bagre. Welcome in, man.
What's going on, Guerrero?
Yeah, I can't roll Mars very good. I tried.
There's that. Right now we're at 30 feet, 35. Sometimes you gotta be able to find this hole. I'm seeing some 38.
Well, before I couldn't get my boat motor running, I had it cleared to possibly get a new fish finder with side scan for Christmas.
Oh,
But now I'm spending more on boat parts and whatnot, and possibly going to spend more on boat parts. I don't know if that's going to happen now. At least not for a little while.
man. All right, I think I'm gonna. We're at 42, 43. I see some marks down there, so I'm going to go towards this channel marker.
Rebel River Cats is in, says hello, everyone.
Ooh, that's a nice one. Hey, Doug.
So, Dustin.
Yes.
Per the norm, why don't you go over your gear that you're using tonight?
All right, give me 1 second. I just changed the depth of my sonar sensitivity to 80 feet because I'm in 51 feet of water right now.
Nice.
I had it set at 35 or 40. Well, there's a lot of activity down there. All right, so let me go get my anchor set up and I'll go over all that stuff in just a second. So I'm going to go probably about 50 yards upriver from where I want to fish because I got 100 foot of anchor line. And if I'm in 50 foot of water, that's going to take half of it.
Tim Wheaton is stopped by. So, what's up, Yak? Whisker yacht not repaired yet, buddy? No, it is not. It's been nothing but a headache. I'm working on it all. I'm gonna work on it all day tomorrow. But it looks like it could be a computer box issue now. I will know more tomorrow after I clean the carbs yet again. Guerrero, no, we did not. We shouldn't have lost sound. If you did, it's not on our end.
I've got some fog on the river.
Fog on the water.
You know, another thing I've got to, I'll talk about that I've got to deal with here on the James River is barge traffic.
That is something we deal with here on the Tennessee River as well. However, I do believe that James has it worse than we do.
Yeah, so I've got to make sure that I'm actually out of the channel, so that if a barge comes through, I don't have to throw my anchor line and move. All right, let's see what I got here. So right now I'm going to grab my my anchor, and this is attached to an old cast net. So I'll tell you my little trick that I did a long time ago. But anyway, this is my Never Lost anchor. It's the Pro Series. I want to say 17 pound is the heavier one.
Now, is that butterfly or sunshine?
This is butterfly. What I did is I actually tied it to an electrical wheel. So I tied all the rope around it, so when I let it go, I just hold on to this and it unwinds and doesn't get all tangled up.
That's pretty handy. Darren says it's a great day above the grass.
That it is. Every day is a great day above the grass, in my opinion.
I agree.
All right, so now what I've done is I'm up. I went a little farther up, and I'm in about 35 feet of water, and I can see behind me where the I can't talk, where the ledge is. And so now my anchor is out. And I'm going to be casting back into that 50 foot of water.
There you go. Well, I'm glad you got that figured out, Mr. Bagre.
All right. Also, today, tonight, this morning, tomorrow morning, in the morning, whatever, I will be using a Monster Rod Holders Hydro Web HD80. Thank you to Jeff Beal and Ed Evans for donating that to us.
Now, remind me, the 80 is the smaller of the three, or the middle one?
The 80, I think the 80, and I think he has a 120. I don't know about the smaller one.
I think the 120 is the big one, yeah.
Yeah.
It might be 60, 80, and 120. Something like that. I think it was three sizes. I guess don't hold me to that. I could be wrong.
So hopefully I'll be using that tonight. I'll tell you, the cool thing about that was Sean and I went out. Oh, hello. Nice phone. Sean and I went out, and actually it was still in the box when we took it out fishing for the first time. And that very first time we had it, caught a 50-pound bluecat.
Yeah.
So I had to take it out of the box, get it wet, and then, we hauled in the 50-pounder. Sorry, I'm sharpening my bait knife.
I don't blame you. Darren said he thinks it's 40, 80, and 120. That probably is correct.
Okay.
I say that since those are actually like incrementally spaced.
Like I said, I didn't buy this. It was purchased for us by Ed Evans and Jeff Beal after they came down and fished with us for a couple days.
Now, is this the same trip as the Buzzard boat launch?
It certainly is.
Oh, geez.
I think no, that was the second trip.
Oh, okay. Still,
that was the second trip.
That would be absolutely a nightmare at best, or at worst. I don't even know.
All right, so one problem I'm seeing is looks like I thought the tide had gone out, but I'm not. My boat's starting to churn back upriver, so I may end up throwing out Sunshine. And just so everybody's aware of why I call them that, those anchors were donated by Butterflies and Sunshine. I actually bought them. I actually had a show we had a Snaggin Night Live show in Tennessee at CatCon, and somebody asked me what I wanted from CatCon, and I specifically said there's a few things I came down here for. One of them being to meet everybody that I'd got to see on YouTube, and then the other was to get me some never lost anchors. I said I wasn't sure how much they cost, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get one or two.
Oh yeah, that wheel thing does work really well. You couldn't really see it when you threw the other one. Yeah, that's pretty smooth.
Yeah, I like that. I will tell you, I learned a hard lesson that those things float.
The wheel does?
It does.
Okay.
I was doing a live one day, and the wind was blowing.
Okay.
And I was struggling trying to keep. Oh, come on. I was struggling trying to keep the boat straight. And I threw the anchor out, and the wind was blowing the boat upriver. And I was holding onto this anchor, and I was holding the plastic and for butterflies, and it actually cut into my hand.
Oh wow.
So at that point, I threw it. I'm like, you know what? Whatever.
Yeah.
And because I didn't want to lose my anchor.
Right.
And then by the time I got back to my anchor, or I got the boat turned on and turned around, went back to my anchor, the reel was still floating. So, and I was able to pull my anchor up.
That makes it a little bit easier. Good to know for future potential problems. I will say you having that system is pretty nice. If you did have somebody come through really bad and you had a really bad emergency situation come up, you could very quickly get rid of it.
Yes.
Tim said, let's see. Yes, I did switch out the Yak Cave a while back. What you normally see, if I'm not mistaken, is I have a backlight on this wall to make it a little bit of a different color. But it was in my office, which is now a spare bedroom. So I'm in the living room now. He also said it would be my luck that the wheel would be yanked out of his hand and into the river. Well, at least it does float, so you could get it back.
Yep. So if I get a barge come around the corner and they start honking at me, I'm not going to have time to pull my anchors. I mean, what I could do is, pull enough so they're off the bottom, wrap around the cleat, do the same thing to the back one, and then just pull forward. But
well, just being able to untie the cleat and check the thing over is pretty easy.
Yep. Just as long as the barge doesn't run over it, then you're kind of hosed.
Oh, I mean, that is true. That is true.
But, all right. Let's get this shad cut up and get some bait in the water. All right, headpiece. All right, what should we do? Should I do body chunks or should I do a fillet with some backstrap? What do y'all think? While you're thinking about that, I'm going to get the headpiece on one of these effing rods.
But I definitely would do a headpiece. I know what my idea would be with only one bait and 6 rods and a couple hours to fish. I guess the other question is: Are you planning on throwing your gill net out again?
It depends on how hot the bite gets.
Fair enough. Kablunk. One of my favorite sounds in the whole world.
Still hasn't hit bottom.
You said it was a 50-foot hole.
Not yet. Not yet. There it goes.
But yeah, no, if I was able to get my boat running, the plan was to bump until it started raining. Then I was going to go park in one of the holes of the dam to get out of the rain. But I was unable to do so. Of course, I still don't hear the rain, so maybe the weather people were wrong again. Mike said it wasn't by us yet. It wasn't when I looked earlier, but it also wasn't 11 o'clock yet.
Anybody said what I should do? Should I
No, nobody has commented on the strategy for tonight. So I guess it's up to you.
All right, y'all, come on. What should I do? Should I cut these? Cut a fillet? Cut it into strips? Cut the back strap?
He's got one shad, guys. One shad. What he is asking, does he just cut it up in chunks and just throw it out? Does he fillet it and cut it into strips so he gets more baits out of it? Does he do a little bit of both? Looking for the people's choice.
I'm going to go ahead and cut the tail off because I don't use the tail.
I do not either.
But I don't throw it out to the end of the river yet until I'm done. I usually just throw it back in the bucket, and then once I'm done, I dump all the tails overboard.
Maybe that's my problem. I'm always chumming the water with the tails.
So what I can do is I can cut the fillets off. It's going to be a little harder now, but I can cut the fillets off and then cut the fillets in half, like lengthways of the fish. So I can get 2 fillets out of one, and then I can cut the back strap and get 2 more baits, or I can cut a gut pocket with back strap.
You could do that. What I was going to say is you could also cut it at the gut pocket all the way straight back. You could still get your chunks with the spinal fluid and whatnot, but then you could take your gut pocket piece and make that 2 strips.
Yep.
And that was big enough. You probably could get 4 baits out of the strips and still get 2 or 3 chunks out of the back. They'd be a little bit smaller, but that'd probably be the way I did it. So
you got one shad. You got to do what you got to do.
Yes, sir.
I'm just lucky it's a bigger one.
That is fair.
No comments yet?
No comments, man. They're quiet tonight.
Ouch. I'll tell you what. The bottom spines on those shad are sharp.
Yeah, man, they can be. That's for sure. I've been stabbed more than once. I've also had them rip my vacuum sealed bag before too.
All right, so I've got headpiece. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so here's what I've done. Turn this light around so y'all can see me. Maybe it's better if I don't turn that light around. I got 1 fillet I'm going to put on. So that's 1 whole side. Put that on the other effing rod. Y'all still with me?
Yep, we're still with you.
All right, cool. So you asked me earlier what I'm using gear-wise. I've got 2 of the 7'6" FOA effing rods. I've got 2 Ancient Mariner 6,000 reels. And then I've got 4 Ancient Mariner albatross reels.
Are those also on the effing rods?
They are. No. So the 2 effing rods have the 6,000s. Sorry. And the 2 6-footers and the 2 5-footers have the albatross reels.
Are the 6 foots and the 5 foots the double Y rods?
Yes.
Hey, when you get a moment, since you're the one actually fishing, you should put yourself on full screen.
All right.
You can inlay me or whatever, but there's no point in everybody just looking at my wall. At least hopefully that won't be the sole source of entertainment tonight.
And it just hit bottom.
All right, Tim Wheaton asks, "What's the weirdest bait you've ever used?" Well, I've used a lot of stuff. I've tried soap. I've tried Spam. Grape Kool-Aid hot dogs. Grape garlic Kool-Aid hot dogs, actually. Chicken. Lots of different types of and flavors of chicken. I tried beef liver once. I've tried bacon. It was old and expired because I forgot about it in the freezer. Just to be clear, it's not something I would normally use. Bacon normally shouldn't be wasted like that, in my opinion. Let's see. Oh, if you ask Bobcat Outdoors, he will tell you that we used perro, which is dog, because he definitely called the chicken we were using dog. So if that counts, that was the weirdest bait because he definitely mispronounced it. What about you, Dustin? What's the weirdest bait you've used for catfish?
Catfish.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we caught a small blue one time, and we struggled getting bait, and we caught the small blue, so we decided just to cut it up, and we actually caught a fish off of it.
Nice. Still in you is still in your walk up. He says, "What up, yaks and friends?"
What's going on?
He said, "Everyone, please enjoy your day today, and always don't let nothing or no one steal your joy, ladies and men."
Absolutely.
Rebel River said he's used feeder rats for bait before. Oddly enough, rats and mice are a very common bait for certain species. I know they're quite commonly used for pike. I also know in muskie, but I also know that they're really popular for brook trout, especially up in the Labrador, Vancouver area up in Canada. That's why you see a lot of flies. Fishermen have a mouse pattern fly on them when they're fishing for brook trout up there. So while that may seem weird to us American cat fishermen, it's not necessarily unheard of in other aspects of the world. Now the question is, Rebel River, did you catch anything on those feeder rats? That's the real question. He said it worked out good, so I'm assuming he did.
All right, so to finish off what I'm using, everything else I've got on my line, minus a couple of the weights I've got. I will say I'm still using dragon weights on these just because there's not enough current in here to make a difference.
Sure.
And I didn't feel like changing them out tonight, so I got 4-ounce dragging weights on. But pretty much everything I have on here is FOA. Like I said, minus the dragging weights because I have lost a couple dragging weights. Dragging, of course. Getting hung up, broke off.
Right.
So I've got some older weights on here, dragging weights that I've had. Oh, I'm getting a bite.
That's good. Well, you should really make yourself solo soon.
Yep, let me get my other rod cast out real quick.
Rebel River said he had 4. He hooked 4 fish with the rat and landed 3. One of them got ripped off with a takedown. That's pretty cool, man.
I'll tell you what, Danny, yes, Danny Stone, he's used zombie carp before. He's actually used a goose he hit on the side of the road one time.
Hey, man. If the chicken works, I don't see why a goose wouldn't. Goose is a lot greasier, too. If you guys are interested in trying any of the stuff that Dustin's talking about, you can go to FOAcustomsandgear.com and use TSW10 or Yak10 to get 10% off your order. Anything that is used between now and the end of this show will be hosted up until October when we end this series for the year. Any of the sales through those codes are going to be donated to Freddie as a token of our appreciation. So feel free to check it out and feel free to use one of those codes and get yourself 10% off. Dustin is more of a bait caster guy, as you can tell, as Ancient Mariner reels.
Yes.
Mrs. Yak and I, we prefer the spinning rods personally. I've always been a bigger fan of open face spinning reels, always have been. But for her, in combination with the BBS rods, the spinning rods that they have, they load up really well. Works out great for her with her being shorter. She's had a hard time finding a rod she can cast well with. And that is right up her alley, and it works good. The bend's good, sensitivity's good. Glow in the dark tips is nice for those who like using black lights, and it's definitely worth considering some of these rods. I've used pretty much everything out there except for the titanium one, the gray one he has. I have not tried that one yet.
I have not either. That's the one that's got the saltwater eyes on it.
Yeah. It looks like it'd be a good rod too. It feels well made.
And it's also got the trigger on it. Trigger grip handle.
Yep. Is rod number 4 the one that you thought was getting a bite?
Well, my boat's spinning right now, unfortunately, because of the boat. Another boat just passed, so I think it's going back to where it was. But it was nope. It was that one that I thought was getting a bite.
On the far end?
Far side, yep.
Well, is your screen flipped? I can't tell if it is or not.
I don't know. This is my left.
Okay, yes, never mind. So it's not flipped. It's looking like it's supposed to. Number 4 was the one I saw the line jumping on a minute ago, but it could be, like you said, the boat spinning.
The one right there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Another thing that we have to think about, or I'll say worry about, because it drives me insane when you're dealing with the James River. We get a lot of species that come up from the ocean up into the river.
That's fair.
Some of them are great, like hickory shad. They come up, they're saltwater fish. They come up in the James to spawn. They come all the way up to the city. So, I don't know, maybe 5 to 8 miles that way upriver is the city, and they go all the way up to the city to the fault line, and that's where they spawn up there. They do that once a year. That's in the springtime. And then another species that comes up, and some people like to use it for bait, is mullet. We can catch mullet like crazy, especially during the wintertime. And I've never had any luck on mullet, but some people like it.
It does stay in the hook pretty good.
Yes, that it does, and it freezes well too.
It makes sense.
But it's just I've never caught a catfish on mullet before. Oops, kill my battery that way. And blind Joe. But the one, well, let me get this out of the way too. As we said before, the sturgeon come upriver.
Now they are not primarily saltwater fish, though, right? They are freshwater fish, correct?
I believe so. Yes. I could be wrong on that, so I honestly don't remember.
Rebel River says the crabs are a pain in the rear.
That's what I was getting at, Doug. That's what I was getting at. Because we'll sit when the crabs, because the crabs come up from the bay, and they go. I mean, they'll go all the way up to the city, and sometimes. But I will say they are great bait. If you can catch a crab that's 5 inches long from point to point, and I wish I had one to show you that I could tell you what I was talking about. But 5 inches long from point to point, there's two little points that come off of their butts by their back legs. And if they're 5 inches long from point to point, you can keep them as legal bait. And you can actually have, in the state of Virginia, 2 crab pots without being registered or licensed for them for personal use.
Crabs and catfish sounds like a pretty good combo to me.
So the one crab that I actually got a chance to use, I was actually in this spot or not far from this spot when I caught it, because it was attached to a stick that I was snagged on when I reeled it in.
Oh, smooth.
And I remember Kevin, Palmetto Cats, was on the channel. I was doing a live one night. I don't know who I was. I was out there by myself. I think it was a day before one of the LFTL tournaments, or a day. It was a day. Oh, it was day before stand day, so it was a Saturday night. Or maybe it was a Friday night. But anyway, I caught it and I was able to keep it alive.
Nice.
And it was 5.5 inches, so I was able to keep it. And I asked folks, how I want to use this for bait. How do I do that? You know, there's different ways of using crab for bait. Some people will just tear the legs off and the claws and just put a hook in it and throw the disc as bait, you know, because catfish will eat it. You can also take a knife and you stab it right down the middle of the back of the shell, and you can cut it in half and use that. Now, I will warn or caution you if you decide to do that. A self-defense mechanism that a crab has, it will, if you stab it, it will disperse some sort of ink that fouls its own meat.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's a black ink substance, and from what I read, it spoils the crab's meat. And I think it's so that, you know, if something tries to eat it, then it gets in the predator's mouth, and it's a foul tasting substance. So I don't know if it's hereditary or if it's a evolutionary thing, but if, you know, fish have just learned, apparently not, because they eat crab all the time.
Right.
But anyway, but that's what I chose to do. I cut it in half, and I used half of it, and I was up near Jordan Point Bridge, and I actually caught a 30-pounder on stand day one day using a crab.
Nice. Now, I know you talked about this earlier, but Tim Wheaton asking what the temperature is up there in Virginia and what's the water temperature there.
Currently here in Virginia, let's see if my watch will tell me the accurate temperature. It's probably in the 70s. I heard something. I think it's in the 70s here. Water temperature is 88 degrees. We're sitting in 45 feet of water right now. I cast it off into about a 54-foot hole behind me.
And hopefully that will result in a fish very soon.
I hope so.
I will say you getting the taps early on was kind of encouraging for sure.
Yeah.
More so than last week.
The one thing I won't say worried about, but I think is going to cause me a bit of a hassle is the tide. So if the tide starts going out, which it looks like it might be doing, I may have to reel in and recast.
I thought you wanted it to go out.
I do, but again, I'll have to reel in and recast regardless.
I got you.
But we may be okay for a while because, like I said, I got my other anchor out, so it may keep me still.
I got you.
I have thrown both butterflies and sunshine overboard. But yes, crab makes a great catfish bait. If you know how to use it. Another thing I've seen people do is they pull all the legs off, and then they peel the shell off, and they get the meat out of it and just use the meat.
You get more bait out of it that way, I guess.
Yeah, it
Now,
seems like a bit more of a hassle though.
sure. Now, do the officers that give you guys trouble doing that? Kind of
What's
down
that?
here, do the officers give you trouble doing that up there? And I asked that because obviously here we're allowed to use sport fish, but if you can't prove how big it was, if it has a size limit, then you could still get ticketed here.
I've never been. I'll be honest with you. I've never been stopped where they've asked to see my bait.
Okay.
I have been questioned up in the city one time by a guy that I feel was undercover. He was like an undercover game warden. He was in a kayak or a boat, a small John boat, and had 2 fishing rods out. And then I had dropped the gill net, and I asked Sean because Sean was in his own boat. And I think I've told this story before too, but I asked Sean to keep an eye on it while I went a little bit farther downriver to try to see if I can catch some white perch or hickory shad. And then as I was coming back up, Sean took off, so I was within the distance, and I pulled the gill net in and went over and was getting ready to go follow Sean when the guy comes up. He goes, "Hey, can I ask you a few questions?" And he showed me his badge. But I know
Interesting.
this isn't what you were asking, but what he was asking was, do you know what you can keep when you catch it in the gill net? And so I said,
Ah.
yes, sir. I said, yes, sir. And I started listing everything that you can keep and the things you couldn't keep and all that stuff. And he goes, I'm glad you know that because there's a lot of people out here that don't.
Well, I'm glad you knew it too, because I'm sure that would have been a fat ticket if
I'm sure.
well, I say that it'd been a fat ticket if he'd have caught you with something you weren't supposed to have.
Right. But as that's the only time I've ever been questioned about bait, not necessarily what I've caught, or what I had on me. But Sean and I got stopped one night during the monster hunt 2 years ago
Mm-hmm.
over by Jordan Point Bridge. And they asked to see our licenses. There was the one interesting thing that came out of that stop. They asked to see our licenses. They never asked to see our bait, and They asked for Sean for his registration, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the one thing they told us was that I thought was interesting because we had the Compax light on his
Uh-huh.
boat up on the front deck, and it was all the way. It was all the way up. It was up extended to whatever it is, 12 foot tall.
Yeah.
And they told us that we had to lower that Compax light because our stern light, our anchor light, had to be the tallest light on the boat.
Now that is the law here in Tennessee as well.
And I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, that is that same law is here in Tennessee for your stern for your it's for your 360 light. I think is what they actually call it, not your stern
Correct.
light, but mostly we have it on the stern. But that applies for any kind of boat, kayak, sailboat, all that stuff. Greg Burgess said, "Hello, Dustin. Good to see you guys. Been watching Josh and guys. I want to watch all you guys and share the wealth. What have I missed? So
What's up,
far,
Josh?
nothing. Dustin has caught one shad. He has cut it up into several different types of bait pieces, including body strip sections. I think he said he had a back strap steak out there. He has a headpiece out. Basically every part of the shad but the tail. And he's currently fishing a 54-foot hole. He's had one tap on the far right-hand rod if you're looking at the screen. And we shall see if it results in anything. Yeah, we're getting some good stories about Dustin almost getting in trouble with the law. Flirting with the edge of chaos.
This goes to show if you know what you're doing and you know how to, you know the you know the rules and you follow the rules, then most of the time you won't get in trouble.
Right. But I know you can get in trouble for having the lights on your boat at night here too. Not
The dock
because of
lights?
like your compacts or whatever.
Yeah.
You can get in
Oh,
trouble
really?
for yeah, because it can be deemed as a distraction or something. I remember reading that somewhere. Somebody had gotten in trouble for it, and that was what they were told is because it was too big and too distracting. So yeah, if you have other boats coming by that could possibly be blinded by that light, you're supposed to move it or adjust it until they pass by or something.
Right. I
Which
think
I mean that makes sense. I mean, it's
we've
just a
discussed
quick
this
thing at that
before
point.
about your night vision.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend of mine who is the current sheriff in the county I live in. I've known him for a long time, and he also retired from the Coast Guard. And I remember him making a comment on Facebook one time about how annoyed he gets when he sees people driving around at nighttime with their dock lights on. And then he explained the whole night vision thing, how it takes a minute or two for your eyes to adjust back to being without light.
Yep.
So it's dangerous to have people driving around with bright lights shining in other boaters' faces.
Yeah, but Mike said just like here, a lot of people keep everything they get in a cast net. Yes, they do. I have seen it many times.
Oh, absolutely. I know. I was with my neighbor Scott, and we were fishing that night where we had the show. Where I was fishing that 12-hour tournament with my neighbor.
Yeah.
In the gill net, we actually caught what looked like. Again, I don't know much about crappie. I know the first one I ever caught, which was only one in my lifetime, was huge, and I had no idea what it was. I had to send a picture to my dad to ask what it was. But anyway, we caught what looked like two massive crappie in our gill net, and we weren't sure what they were because they didn't look like regular crappie. Turns
Mm-hmm.
out they were black crappie, but they were huge, and we ended up throwing them back because we weren't sure.
Yeah, well, here in Tennessee, the only thing you can keep when you catch in a cast net are actual identified and labeled as bait fish species.
Right.
Anything that's uh, anything that's that's considered a trash fish or a rough fish that isn't considered a bait fish, even though they don't have a rod and reel creel limit or size limit, you're not allowed to keep them if you catch them in a cast net because they can only be kept in rod and reel. Bluegill, sunfish, all that stuff, even though they may or may not have a rod and reel limit, same story. You can't keep them. You catch them in a cast net, you got to throw them back. Same if you catch them in a minnow trap, you're not allowed to keep them either, even if
Yeah,
they're legal size.
I asked. I was nervous about this because I had never had a cast net before I went out and bought mine. So I actually called the Department of Game and Wildlife Fisheries or whatever it is for Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
and they said you can keep anything that's not a game fish. Um, I mean, like perch, white perch you can keep, bluegill you can keep, as long as it's not a game fish.
Right. But yeah, here, like I said, they have specific species you can keep in a cast net and specific species you can keep with like a minnow scene or a minnow trap. But then everything else has to be caught on a rod and reel.
But that
Rebel River said that he caught a flounder in his gill net on the James.
wow, yeah, I do. I hear they are. Where'd you catch that at?
On the James.
Well, right, but where at? I didn't know.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
No, you're good. I know that I've heard people catch them downriver, but I've never heard anybody catch a flounder upriver, like up by the city. Up when I say upriver, I'm talking about the lower James.
Greg Burgess said Danny caught a nice flathead, about 6 pounds. Josh caught it. I had to double take it. So I said a 34-pound channel, but I think it's a 3 or 4 pound channel.
Oh,
I love,
Josh,
I,
Jish.
I love watching all you guys. Heck, I even watch John Parker, my brother. I love all you guys. And fishing
Well,
with
we
Big Mike
appreciate
says
you.
he's using baby drum and gizzard shad. Near Dutch Gap, Rebel River said.
Oh wow, they caught a flounder near Dutch Gap. Interesting. One time, Austin and I were out. We caught in the gill net. We caught a walleye, a flathead. I think we caught like 6 different species in one time in the gill net when we brought it up.
I've done 3 or 4 species before. I've caught crappie, walleye, red ear, sunfish, bluegill, shell cracker. No, I'm sorry, red ear and shell cracker, same thing. Biggest fish I caught in a cast net was a 4-foot sturgeon. Um, think I've caught a channel cat in there too. I've caught drum, several drum, buffalo. Never caught a carp in one. Red horse sucker. But yeah. Fishing with Big Mike. If I'm not mistaken, that only applies. The 4-inch thing only applies if you're selling the bluegill, and you can only sell them if they're caught out of a private pond. I saw the 4-inch thing, but I'm 90% sure that's only if you're selling them. You're allowed to use bluegill of any size if you catch on rod and reel, is my understanding. Mike said I made a no English speaking fella put a 5-gallon bucket full of crappie back in the water. I dumped it in myself.
Wow.
Luckily, you didn't get shanked or shot. I know some of those guys get pretty touchy.
Oh.
Now I got one. I have that book somewhere. Actually, they should have a digital copy online. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm curious about the bluegill thing again. Now you got me wondering about it. I could have swore it was for if you were selling them.
But you have to have a special license to sell bait in Tennessee, right?
Right.
Man, it is a beautiful night out here.
Let's see. Oh, we're allowed to use slap baskets here.
What is that?
Some sort of thing that you bait with.
Okay.
Says persons eligible to fish with a slap basket may fish with one slap basket, provided the slap basket is marked with a metal tag obtainable from the TWA for an annual fee of $10. Valid from July 1st to June 30th each year. Possession or use of more than one slap basket is prohibited. A slap basket is defined as a device used for taking non-game fish and catfish only. Slap baskets may have only one outside funnel opening and must be made of wood, plastic, or cane slats, which are placed lengthwise and so constructed that there must be a minimum of 4 openings in the catching area, each being at least 1.5 inches wide and 6 inches long. Fish taken may not be sold. You're not allowed to set them within 100 yards of a mouth of any river, creek, or slough. Have to be checked at least every 72 hours. And then, of course, here we got grappling, gigging, grab hook, snagging, archery, crossbow, and spear gun. It's a year-round season in all waters except for a couple oddballs. I'm not going to read all this. Let's see. Bait restrictions, bait regulations. Here we go. Page can't. Oh, hang on. Regulations.
If you see my rod's jumping, it's because my a big cabin cruiser just came by.
Yep, they're all bouncing.
Oh, my light turned. Oh!
Greg said, Dustin, I love those nights where the water is a mirror.
Yes, it is a beautiful, like I said, beautiful evening. So glad I was able to make it out tonight.
All right, here we go. Class A bait fish. The following species may be harvested by licensed sports anglers for use as bait. They may be imported in Tennessee or exported from Tennessee as live or dead bait by licensed bait dealers and licensed sports anglers. And they can be harvested and sold in Tennessee by licensed bait dealers. There is no position limit for gizzard shad, threadfin shad, fathead minnow, golden shiner, or goldfish. Skipjack herring, creel limit of 100 per day, but you can keep 200 at a time. Oh, okay. I didn't know this. Skipjack herring, gizzard shad, and threadfin shad may not be transported away from the water alive from the Mississippi River in Barkley, Kentucky, and Pickwick reservoirs in any tributaries or oxbows of these waters. I'm guessing it's because they also feast on eggs of Asian carp and stuff. That's what I guess, because all those waters are ones that have those in there. I bet that's to help prevent them spreading that. That's just a guess, though. I don't know, though. Let's see. Sunfish. All species of the genus Lepimus, I can't pronounce half this stuff, may be bought and or sold subject to the following conditions. A. Such fish may be bought and or sold for bait purposes only. Such fish bought and or sold must not be more than 4 inches in length. Yes, he bought or sold, Mike. Such fish must have been lawfully taken from privately owned lakes and or ponds. And nothing contained herein shall be construed as legalizing the sale of sunfish taken from any stream or public lake. So you can't sell bluegill if they're caught in public water. But the 4-inch restriction is only if you're buying or selling them.
That, some of these rules are strange. How are they going to know if you caught them from public water or not?
I have no idea.
I was like, those fish that you can only catch via a rod and reel. How are they going to know you caught it on a hook? Are they going to use a magnifying glass and inspect the lip to see if there's a hole in it?
I have no idea. My guess is probably they'll just watch you for a minute and see if you put it, how you put it in the boat. If they see you using those kind of techniques, that's just a guess, though. Rev
Yeah.
River said he might be able to join you next Saturday, Dustin.
Oh, cool.
And Greg said, Dustin, I usually start catching my big ones around 1 or 2 at night. It's the best time I love to fish.
Yeah, like I said, unfortunately, I'm not going to move, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to change baits because I've only got one shad.
Now, obviously, I don't know much about a gill net, but I'm guessing you can't use it where you're currently at because it's too deep.
Correct.
Okay?
Hey, Beck. Sorry, I'm yawning. So they make a floating gill net and a sinking gill net.
Okay.
Of course, the sinking one you can take to areas where there's deeper water, and you can get, if the shad are on the bottom, and I think that's typically during the wintertime. The shad are on the bottom, it will sink. There's also a way to make your floating gill net a sinking gill net, and that is just wrap the weights on either end, like wrap the rope all the way as far as you want it off the bottom, and then extend your rope on the buoys.
Right.
So you can make a floating gill net a sinking gill net, but anyway, yeah. So the one I have is a floating. It's got buoys across the top of it, and I keep saying it's. I can't stop yawning. It's mine. Sean actually bought it for the channel. I think it's time to get a new one because it's got more holes. More holes. I could probably drive my truck through some of those holes.
Jeez. Yeah, Mike said that bucket of crappie he dumped out, and the guy caught them all in a cast net. So yeah, they need to get dumped back.
Gotcha.
I've called a couple people out that were trying to keep like undersized smallmouth bass, stuff like that, in front of me. I'm like, hey, you know it's supposed to be this big or something like that, right? And they're like, oh, really? Yes, really.
Are you going to say anything?
Yeah, right. Pontoon Jody's in the house. Said, what you doing?
What's up, Jody? Well, I'm fishing, Jody. What you doing? I am doing a one bait challenge tonight.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
See if I can catch any fish on one shad that is cut up into many different bait types. So let me see if I can remember here. So effing rod has the headpiece. Other effing rod over here, there it is, has a fillet from one side. That's all I remember as far as which is what and what. I got 2 back strap chunks, I think, on the left side. I've got the gut pocket still attached to some of the outer skin I think it's on that middle rod, and I got another back strap piece on the outside 5-foot rod.
Mac is in the house. Said, what's up, everybody? Been watching on the big screen.
What's up, Mac? Thanks for coming in, buddy. I thought about you. I don't know if anybody's seen those silly TikToks with Bigfoot or Sasquatch.
Oh, yeah, they're hilarious.
Yeah, there's one that I just saw today that he said, I'm out here on the Potomac. So that's where Mac fishes. I don't remember what the rest of it was. The fact that he was doing a TikTok or doing a little funny Sasquatch video talking about the Potomac, I thought was pretty funny. Oh man, I need to stop yawning. I've still got
Stop it there, man.
2.5 hours to go.
Yeah, you got a ways to go.
At midnight, I'll leave it up to chat. If we still got enough people in here, if they want me to reel up and go try to catch another shad, it may take me an hour. Or if they just want to leave the rods in the water, leave the baits out there, and see what happens, we can do that too.
Well, I will say this: you went over that hole. You said there was a lot of activity. Was it did like there was a ton of bait fish in there as well, or was it just big marks?
What's that now?
When you were going over that hole to start with, you were scanning it with your fish finder. You said there's a lot of activity down there.
Uh
Was there a bunch of bait fish on there too, or was it just like bigger fish?
huh. My sonar's not that great. I did see if they were down there. I didn't see the bait fish. I did see a couple of big marks down there on the bottom.
I got you.
So
Well, if it were me, obviously I'm not chat, but if it were me, if I didn't, so you've been sitting in this spot for 25 minutes at this point. I'd probably quarter till it would be when I consider to go get another piece of bait, and I would try another hole if you had another hole. Keyword there being if, obviously. I don't deal with tides, so
yeah,
that's just me though. But I haven't been catching any fish either, and obviously I'm not catching fish sitting in my computer chair at the house. So take that as you will.
there is another 50-foot hole. The problem with that one is it's closer to the power plant,
Mm-hmm.
and the power plant's kind of noisy.
That's fair. Be a good test for your microphone
Yeah.
or headset.
I told a gentleman at the dock, at the boat ramp, that if I caught enough bait, I'd share with him. Of course, I haven't seen him. He came up to me after I pulled the gill net the first time and went across the river to try to see if I can see anything in another place that we usually see him, and I didn't see anything. So I told him I was going to go a little bit farther downriver and drop the gill net again, and he went on downriver. I haven't seen him since, but of course I don't have enough bait for him.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to split zero.
It certainly is. One for me, none for you.
Mm-hmm. Ed Jenkins is in the house. Said evening, folks.
What's up, Ed? How you doing, man? Everything. I hope everything got moved, and because you moved to South Carolina, right?
That sounds right. I think I remember seeing that on Facebook.
Hope you got everything moved, everything's taken care of and squared away.
Now that we got some more people in here, if any of you guys have a power pack for a Johnson Everett motor, I am in need of one, quite possibly. If you're willing to part with it.
What year?
89.
There you go. I don't know if that makes a difference, but
I'll be honestly, I'm not 100% sure because I know they the series from like 83 to 89 are all very similar.
gotcha.
JG swung by just long to give a thumbs up, said rock on, Yak and Dustin, catch a hog, man.
All right, JG, appreciate you, brother.
Ed said, yes, sir. Chapin, South Carolina, closing the house in Tennessee on Thursday.
Nice.
There's one big problem with hosting from home instead of fishing.
What's that?
Thanks to having a 4-year-old, I have unlimited snacks here.
Oh, going to actually move seats so I'm not turned backwards trying to. Watch my rods. I can actually face the rods straight on.
There you go.
That's what I do love about this boat. Good gracious, I can't stop yawning. I do love that there's a lot of space. There's a lot of seats on this boat. It's actually designed to hold 9 people comfortably. You all familiar with Jimmy Dean sausages?
Yeah, can't have any more.
So probably about 5 minutes upriver from here, on the right hand side or the north side of the bank is one of Jimmy Dean's homes, and it's got a very well manicured yard and a big Jimmy Dean logo in rocks on that river facing slope on his yard.
Okay.
I've actually
Appreciate it.
fished. I've actually fished below that before. Didn't catch anything, but
Yeah, you got to give it a shot, right?
yep.
Greg said hello. Yeah, can't forget about you, my friend. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Oh, man, son of a gun.
Where's Jody at? Need her to do her cat call. Yeah, kitty, 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 kitty. Jenkins says, "Can you pull up and grab a chicken biscuit?"
I think next time, if I decide to come to this area again, I will go launch my boat in a different spot where I know there's bait. Get bait. I should have took the bait from my neighbor. He offered it for me today, but I usually like getting fresh bait on the boat.
Right. Oh, there
But
she is.
anyway,
Joey said, "Here, kitty, kitty, purr, purr, mew, mew,
there we
mew."
go. Wait for a monster takedown now.
Right. Rebel River wants to know where you put in tonight.
Osborne.
I don't know if you know this or not. You do muted yourself.
What's that?
So I'm not sure you knew that or not, but you muted yourself.
Oh yeah.
Rebel said Osborne's a nice place.
Yeah. I think there's way too much boat traffic since they redid the restaurant. It's a riverside restaurant. You can actually
Oh, that's
pull
what
your
you announced
boat.
that last week. Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah. Oh, I think sturgeon are active. I just heard a big fish jump out, probably about 30 yards from the boat. I see the splash rings.
Well, any fish would be a good fish, but obviously we're chasing catfish.
Well, we can't target sturgeon here.
Intentionally, right?
Correct.
Rod number 4 just twitched a little.
I
Just
saw that.
FYI.
Technically, if you even if you foul hook a sturgeon, once you realize it's a sturgeon, you're supposed to cut the line.
And just leave the line on the fish?
Yep.
What kind of sense does that make?
It'll rust out.
Yeah, but how many boats is he going to get stuck in motors wise and whatnot with that line before then?
Again, that's one of those rules. But once you realize that you have a sturgeon, you're supposed to cut the line and let it go.
That's nuts. Here, they're photo and release only. You're not allowed to keep them. I don't know if you're allowed. I think there's a law somewhere that says you're not allowed to purposely target endangered species, and they're still labeled as an endangered species. I think that's the rule here, or something like
Right.
that. I know. Let me rephrase that. That's the debate here. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to look that up too. I'll look it up later. But I know there's people down here that kind of halfway guide for them.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so or at least they do through Facebook. I don't know if it actually counts as officially guiding or not. And I would think if you could guide for them, then that should mean it's legal to try to catch them as long as you're not keeping them. But I don't know.
Yeah, you can't even target him here on the James River.
Greg, if I'm not mistaken, if maybe it's your brother. One of y'all are near me. If you're near me, you do have sturgeon available.
Greg, who?
Burgess.
He's down in Louisiana.
Oh, okay. Isn't he the one that has a brother that just retired from Rossville, Georgia?
I don't. I know you. Somebody said that last show, but I don't remember who it was.
Thought it was him.
It might have been.
Well, if it was, his brother is near him because he's 10 minutes away. Charlie Wilkes. The fishing is interesting. Dustin is currently doing a one shad challenge. He was only able to catch one shad for bait today.
Not by choice.
So he has it split amongst his 6 rods. He's fishing a 54-foot hole on a pseudo weird transitioning tide. Uh, and we do have some taps on rod number 4. We had one tap early on rod number 6. But nothing else became of that tap on rod number 6.
Rod number 5, or no, excuse me, rod number 3 has the nice headpiece on it. Rod number 4 has the fillet, the shad fillet on it. I want to say rod number 5 has the gut pocket that's still attached to the sidewall of the shad or the skin, and then 1, 2, and 6 are backstrap pieces.
Mike Sampson said, Greg Burgess, brother, you're still a young whopper snapper. And then he typed it again and said whippersnapper.
Part of me wishes I would have brought my hoodie tonight because it's going to get kind of chilly.
Well, yeah, we're used to 100 and something degree heat indexes or just straight temperature.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Greg. His brother's in Chattanooga. So
Okay.
your brother's around sturgeon. Now wait a minute, doesn't no, I take it back because I don't know where the Mississippi River ends up. I don't remember if it goes through just Mississippi or if it goes through Louisiana as well. I was thinking they had the pallid sturgeon in the Mississippi River too. And I thought they were more parts of the river. I didn't think they were only up north, but maybe I'm wrong. They don't get very big. But I was thinking there was another species or two of sturgeon on that river.
Speaking of sturgeon again, when Sean and I the first online tournament we ever fished, we was the Goober Gauntlet. I know I've talked about it before as well, but we were actually, I think, almost to the coordinate in this exact spot.
Okay.
I didn't mean to, but we were almost in the tonight. But I'm almost sitting in the exact same spot that Sean and I were sitting in his boat during the Goober Gauntlet probably 5 years ago. and that was during the springtime, and we had sturgeon jumping all around. There's one that jumped beside the boat that was almost the length of, well, not quite, probably half the length of the boat.
Oh
When
wow,
it landed, it was so close that it got me soaking wet.
nice.
I was sitting towards the front of his 18-foot John boat, and one jumped across the back of the boat. And it was so close, I thought it was going to land in the boat. But when it splashed, I got wet from that too.
Nice.
We swore they were going to jump in the boat. They were jumping, but they haven't jumped like that in years, in probably 2 or 3 years
Okay.
that I've noticed.
Right.
But I haven't been out on the river as much lately either. So
I got you. Well, Ed Jenkins said he'll be fishing the James in November for the Operation Vets with Nets Hooked on Heroes event.
awesome! Let me know when you come down. Or should I say, come up?
I was gonna question that. Then I was like, it's kind of funny how, as American English, our country's so big and we're so used to phrases like that. Really, it just doesn't apply half the time.
Yeah.
He said he will do.
All right. Cool. Oh, number 5 got a tap, or 4 got a tap again.
Greg said hopefully he will get to fish the north part of the Atchafalaya and Mississippi one day with my man Creole.
A Chaffalaya.
Yeah, that thing. I couldn't pronounce it when I drove over it either. We were down. we went down to Baton Rouge for a bowling tournament back in June, which I actually bombed that tournament. It was awful, but I do remember driving through there trying to pronounce that the whole way through it both times. I'm pretty sure I never got it right ever.
A Chaffalaya. That's where Creole fishes. And the only reason I know how to pronounce it is because I heard him pronounce it numbers of times.
I got you. I'll tell you what, Greg. He says he's in South Louisiana by the Gulf. One fish I love trying to catch, and I have yet to catch a big one, is redfish. I love chasing redfish.
That sounds like gunshots.
Yeah, it sounded kind of funny through the microphone, but I think you were correct from what I heard. There's another one.
That's. I will say we are out on the side where the boat landing is, which is right there.
Okay.
Get step back up again. It's out in the country,
I got you.
so somebody could be, it's a Saturday night too, so somebody could be drunk
Sure.
shooting target practice or whatever. But
Ed Jenkins says redfish are a blast. I was actually supposed to go before I got rid of my kayak. I was supposed to go with Catfish Viking and Pat from Twisted Tackle Fishing, and we were supposed to go down to Florida for a redfish trip with our kayaks. Unfortunately, due to my medication and due to some health issues that Pat had, we ended up having to cancel that trip. But that was our goal, was to go down and take the kayaks and go into the back in the mangroves and chase redfish. Greg said he fishes the lower Atchafalaya. Did I say it right that time?
no, a Chaffalaya.
Say it again.
A Chaffalaya.
A Chaffalaya.
There you go.
I'm gonna forget this by next week. But he fishes about 2.5 hours below Creole.
Okay.
Atchafalaya.
A Chaffalaya.
A Chaffalaya.
Yeah, Creole actually fishes the Atchafalaya Mississippi convergence.
Okay.
Or tributary.
Right.
Oh, Lord. You guys probably can't hear that, but there's a car doing donuts in a parking lot.
Man, so that's one of the only things I hate about fishing down here, right below Chickamauga Dam on the recreational side. It seems like every weekend there's always somebody doing donuts in there's a boat ramp right behind the college with a fairly good sized parking lot. And it's not the easiest to launch from, especially in the dark. So the parking lot's almost always empty. And there's always somebody doing donuts over there. It seems like.
Well, Dutch Gap again is where I had my incident. The parking lot itself is up above the river. It's surrounded by trees, and I guess you would call it out in the country. It's actually owned by the power plant. The property it's on is owned by the power plant,
Okay.
and they allow the county to have a public boat ramp there. Um, there's been talk for probably 3 or 4 or 5 years about them wanting to close down Dutch Gap and move it to Falling Creek, which is further up 95. Which to me I would actually like better because it's closer to the city, and it's kind of in between the city and here.
Okay.
If I wanted to go fish in this area, I could still launch at Osborne. I could still launch at Deep Bottom, but if I wanted to go closer, I could always just go to um, to the new one if they ever get it built. But they never have. And the problem with it being out here on private property is it's never patrolled, very rarely patrolled.
Right.
So people come out here, do drugs, have sex, um, you know, get drunk, all sorts of stupid stuff.
Run over people.
Run over people and then leave. Yep.
Yeah.
So, but that's probably what that was. It was probably some stupid teenager or college age kid up on that parking lot with the empty parking lot just doing donuts trying to show off.
Yep.
One of these days they're gonna slip up and they're gonna go off of that embankment and into the river.
Yeah, that'd be hard to explain.
If they
Let
survive to explain it.
let me rephrase. It would be hard to justify.
Yeah.
Is that blue cat or flathead, or is that a redfish? Greg. He said, Dustin, the state record was caught just below me. It was 63 plus pounds. It is on display at the restaurant where you can get it. A
Oh
chatter
wow.
service. Why the guy that by the guy that caught it?
Oh,
By the
interesting.
guide that caught it. Sorry.
Oh.
Part of me is wondering if you meant redfish because we were talking redfish a minute ago. Because I could have swore the catfish in Louisiana are bigger than 63. Yeah, okay. I actually saw. I know there's a lot. Seems there's a. I seem to remember reading something about there being some controversy about that record, but I can't remember. I can't remember what the controversy was. Now I'm thinking about it. Unless that might be the one that's in Texas, because I was in Texas reading that stuff too. Well, on that same trip, excuse me.
Sounds like they changed the gun.
Because it wasn't that redfish caught in freshwater, which is what the controversy was about, I guess. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong.
Oh, good. There's actually somebody out here that's smart. Somebody's riding down the river in their boat, and they're actually going like 5 miles an hour. Good Lord, somebody's wasting a lot of bullets.
It happens.
I think I'm going to pull a Chris and Telly and just stay in this spot all night.
Hey man, you only got one shad. Why not?
Yep.
You know there's fish there. You saw marks, so can't hurt necessarily. So yeah, it was the redfish Rick he's talking about. Maybe it was the one in Texas then. The controversy was over. I can't remember, Greg. Like I said, I read too much stuff and don't exactly know what I'm doing half the time anyway. Let's just be honest here.
Has anybody heard? I've seen. I think James has posted a few things on Facebook, but he had a spinal fusion surgery recently.
Yeah,
Bluecat.
he was. Where was I at? Wait, hang on, I was. It was. What was he doing? Oh yeah, he had just got done with his surgery or whatever, and Jody immediately took him out to lunch. He was hoping to go home.
Oh wow,
And Jody kidnapped him, took him to lunch. Yeah.
that's funny.
It was funny. I was laughing.
According to his Facebook post, he's struggling a little bit with the pain, but he's making it. It's so cool out here, and the water is so warm that there's a fog on the top of the water.
Right? Apparently, where that record redfish was caught, Greg fished that area a lot when he was younger. Back in his younger days, he said.
Oh,
Fishizzle popped back in for a second. Said Coco Marina, Greg.
what's up, Fishizzle? How you doing, Brandon? Oh, let's see what the water temp. If the water temp has gone down any, at least the surface temperature.
That's
Oh
not
my
what his
lord.
video said, Jody. Jody said
Oh.
apparently he took her out to dinner.
Oh. All right, surface water temp has dropped to 87.8. Another degree.
Brandon said
Sorry,
he's
I'm
doing
blocking.
good. He's tired from moving hay. He said good luck.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Dude, 37-pound redfish is a huge redfish. I think the one I caught might have weighed 2 pounds. Actually, I'm taking it back. I'm sorry. I think I caught 2, but they were like both the same size.
Oh, I had to get up and move. Hopefully, we'll put a fish in the boat tonight.
That
I
would
will
be
say,
nice.
when we started this show, the 2 times that I fished initially, well, the first time that I fished, I fished the city. And I was doing good fishing the city for a couple weeks, and then I decided to move downriver and haven't been doing so hot.
Right.
Man, this fog coming off the river looks kind of eerie. Tell you the great thing about having coveralls is you can put your arms inside of them.
Right.
It got quiet.
Yes, it did. Very
Oh,
quiet.
hello. Something just splashed behind me. Not sure what it was.
Fishizzle said he's caught some big ones down there. Said you can't keep them big bulls anymore. Yeah, anything over 27 inches you have to release. I'd be cool with a 27 incher or a 15 incher because I think both, like I said, both of them are like 10 inches long, maybe 12, something like that.
Got a boat upriver from me that's searching. See if they can find anything. If my Compex light goes out, I've got another battery. I'll have it hooked to my trolling motor battery. So I'll have to switch batteries. It looks like it's starting to fade a little bit.
Ah.
I haven't charged the trolling motor batteries for a couple trips now. So I'm taking my boat home tonight or in the morning. I can say today in about 2 minutes. I'm gonna take my boat home and I need to fix the trailer lights. It looks like one of the marker lights on my trailer, the passenger side of my trailer, is gone. But it looks like somebody just pulled it off, unplugged it, and took it. I mean,
Little Shop of Horrors said, "What's up, boys?
what's going on?"
First time ever watching this. Well, welcome in. This evening has been very quiet, but he's out here fishing. I, unfortunately, due to the weather, was not able to go out, but we're out chasing catfish. But appreciate you stopping by. Hope you enjoy the stay.
Absolutely. Go check out other content if you like.
Sure. If you got any questions about what we're doing, feel free to post them in the comments and we'll get them answered. Charlie wants to know what landing you put in at, and I forgot what you said you did. Osborne? No. Yeah.
Yep. which is kind of Osborne is on the Henrico County side. Dutch Gap is on the Chesterfield side, but they're literally within. I can get from one to the other in like 2 minutes.
Gotcha.
But they're in totally different parts of the state. I mean, I say totally of the state. That makes it sound like it's a 10-mile or 100-mile stretch. So
Sure.
my Dutch Gap boat ramp is probably about 15 minutes from my house. When I launch at Osborne Landing, I've got to cross the river over 295, and it takes me about 30 minutes from my house to get to Osborne. But if I put in at Dutch, I could be over at Osborne in 2 minutes.
I got you.
So
Lil said you got a better chance than sitting on the couch. Good hustle, guys. Appreciate that. I'm not on the couch. Thankfully, I'm on my computer chair. But hey, Dustin's out there trying.
doing what I can with one shad.
Yeah,
Bait's
the
been
one
tough in this part of the river.
unintentional one shad challenge.
If I had more bait, I might pull my rods up at some point and move to a different location. But with just having the one shad, I'm just going to stay in this spot and see what happens. My bait's probably cooked by now anyway.
It's only 88 degrees.
Yeah. The
Lil
shad
said
itself
that's
was
teamwork.
already warm when I pulled it out of the water.
Yeah, right. Which is not exactly ideal anyway.
Right.
For those who don't know, bait fish do much better when they're colder, both in surviving but also the firmness of the meat or the bait itself, however you want to rephrase it.
But I'll tell you, as far as the boat ramps go here on the James River, Osborne is probably one of my favorites, just because
Even with the
it's
restaurant.
so. What's that?
Even with the restaurant.
Well, it's one of my favorites as far as launching the boat
Okay.
because it's got like I talked about last week or the week before last. It's got three boat ramps or three ramps on it, and each ramp is double sided, so you can it's got you can launch two boats at a time on each ramp, so you can launch six boats at one time there,
Okay.
and it's clean. I wish they would put more lighting up, but it's a state park or it's a county park, and they typically don't like people because there's a pier, a fishing pier, across from the boat ramp that you can fish on, but they don't like people there after dark. So I don't think they want to put lights up to entice people to stay. But they really need to put more lights at the boat ramp so it's easier to trailer your boat there. But my as far as like lights and ability to launch and all that stuff, Hopewell is probably my favorite.
Okay.
The thing with Hopewell is you can only launch. I think you can only launch two boats at a time.
Right.
But there's a bait and tackle shop right there.
Yeah.
And at nighttime, and it's got a big parking lot, and it's very well it's lit up. So they've got lights right there at the dock. So, but that's not technically on the James River. That's on the Appomattox River.
Ah.
But it goes out. But once you leave Hopewell and go under the bridge, in like it's a no wake zone, so you have to go slow. But in like 2 minutes, you're out in the main channel of the James River.
Okay.
My neighbor was telling me that he had a buddy out last night during the storm, um, caught a couple nice flatheads. And if you want to catch a flathead, the Appomattox is definitely the way to go. There's a lot of flatheads up there on the app.
Does that area have more trees or what?
Yeah,
Why do you think that's like? Okay,
it's a shallower river,
I got you.
and it's not traveled as much as the James River is.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely got a lot. It's got a lot more cover, a lot more brush and trees on the banks.
Rebel says he uses Hopewell sometimes.
Sometimes I prefer to put in at Hopewell to go down to Jordan Point, even though Jordan Point has its own boat ramp because they don't take care of the boat ramp at Jordan Point. Like there's big potholes in it. It's very steep. I always worry that I'm going to slide back into the river.
Sure.
And my neighbor was telling me that two guys that he knew were actually launching a boat, or I think they were trailering a boat or launching a boat. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were launching it because one of the guys went and put the truck back in the parking lot. But the guy that stayed down with the boat, he was getting some stuff ready in the boat, and then some crazy nut job came down was pacing on the boat ramp and ended up shooting the guy.
Oh wow.
He shot the guy 8 times in the back because the guy was running away trying to take cover. Oop!
Jeez.
See, rod number 1 got a bite.
Come on, fishy.
So I mean, I think he survived, but
Still, that's nuts.
and they ended up catching the guy that did it. But it's crazy. And there was no provocation of any sorts. The guy was just pacing back and forth on the boat ramp and then started shooting.
That's crazy.
That's the biggest bite we've had all night. That was exciting. That would be a backstrap piece, if I'm not mistaken.
Rebel. I'm sorry. Hold on. Greg said, Dustin, I have gone fishing and catch bluecats, reds, and black drum at the same time. It is determined on the time of the year.
Nice.
The variety is nice for sure. Lil says it's crazy and wild people you run into enjoying nature sometimes. That's a fact.
Absolutely.
I have a story about a gentleman I'll tell you in just a second. Rebel said that Deep Bottoms is his least favorite. He likes the location, but not the facility.
Yeah, they deep bottom. There is a light up there on the not it's near the ramp, but it's been out for a while now. And you'd think they'd fix that ramp because that's where Henrico County keeps their police boat. Right, there's a fenced-in house that they own, and they keep their boat there in the fenced-in property. That's where they launch from.
Right.
You'd think they'd take better care of that, especially for nighttime, because if they have to launch that boat, they don't want to be able to see where they're going.
But yeah, as for my crazy story about people, the craziest, or let me rephrase, the most interesting individual I met while fishing, his name was Mike, actually, I do believe. No, it's Ed. Crazy Ed. That's his name, Crazy Ed. This guy, I kid you not, if you took if you took a lumberjack and a pirate and you smashed them together, that's what that's what this guy dressed up as.
That's funny.
Was a super nice guy as long as you were courteous in the fishing area and all that good stuff. He was knowledgeable. He would share bait, all that good stuff. back before my daughter was born, I used to fish at the dam at least 2 or 3 times a week. So I ran into him several times a week. And one day I didn't bring a bag with me, and he was in the middle of filling up a trash bag with trash. And I was still going to be there, and he was getting ready to leave. I said, "Hey, if you want to leave that here, I'll finish filling that bag." And he was skeptical at first. Are you actually going to do it, or are you going to leave it here? I assured him I was going to fill it up, and he was telling me the next day when he realized I actually had filled the bag and threw it away or whatever. One, that he was appreciative I did that, but two, he thinks that the reason we don't have alien abductions or UFO sightings anymore is because the aliens think we've polluted the earth too much. Which, while I appreciate the theory, it was definitely very far-fetched to hear from a guy who was fishing. So yeah, that's been my craziest interaction.
I don't know that I've ever had a crazy interaction with anybody fishing or at the boat ramp. I talked to a few people, but I don't.
Hey man, you got an hour and 45 minutes yet. You better quit that.
Okay, yes sir. I'll just mute myself next time I do it.
Sure, yeah. Greg said that's why they don't play down here. We always fish with our protection, if you know what I mean. We don't play, but we are friendly.
Yeah.
Lil said, "Oh man, yeah, it's been you meet some interesting people for sure. And I've met a lot. I've met lots of good people too. Don't get me wrong. But the alien thing was definitely the most out there. I've had the. Oh, you know what? No, I forgot about that one. Hang on. This was weird. I was fishing downtown at night, and there was a uh, individual who appeared to not have a residence. If you catch my drift.
Yep.
Who was in a sleeping bag on the side of a hill behind where I was fishing, who randomly started yelling out all of a sudden, "Oh, look, it's an angel," when a star came out from behind the clouds because it was cloudy. But the tone, the conviction, and the excitement in her voice when she was saying this, that was the weirdest one, I think.
Huh. Interesting.
Lil said, "Yeah, one time my hunting partner had a trucker pull over and start talking with him, and then ended up telling him telling his buddy how he healed cancer with crystals." To each their own. Everybody has their opinions and thoughts and beliefs on things. For the most part, I'm good as long as they're not trying to force me into anything I don't want to do or I have no interest in.
I agree. Yeah, I really should have brought my hoodie because I'm a little chilly now. Has it started raining there yet?
I have no idea.
Oh.
To be perfectly honest.
I prefer it that way.
Rather just not know.
I hear people. I hear a boat, but I don't see any lights. No navigation lights, no anchor lights.
Well, appreciate the subscription, Lils. Take it easy. Be safe. Said they'll definitely check out more in the future, and good luck.
I appreciate it. Don't forget to check out. Don't forget to check out the description. All of the FOA Pro staff members' YouTube channels and discount codes are in the description.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oops.
That's all right. Still awake, Anthony?
Say it again.
Still awake?
Yep, I'm still awake. I'm here.
Every time a fish jumps up near me up in the water, I get startled. I jump.
Dust and I. This is Greg. Dust and I have stopped catching fish many times and pulled a boat that was broken down to the dock. That is our code down here. You never know when it is your time to help your brother.
Yep, absolutely. I did that the last. What was it? One of the tournaments I fished for the LFTL. I launched and went and got bait, and there was a family that was anchored in the middle of the river up near towards the city, and they needed help getting back. So I I helped them and towed them back up to the dock. That was the Midnight Madness tournament, the one that ended at 6 o'clock in the morning that I got third place in.
Greg said he's still awake.
That makes one of us, Greg. I think I'm sleep fishing at this point. I woke up. I think I woke up at 5:30 this morning. I fell asleep in the recliner last night, watching bowling on YouTube, and our older dog, our smaller dog, she when she has to get up or she wants food or has to go out in the mornings, usually it's around between 5 and 5:30, she'll start yapping. She's a Beagle Jack Russell mix, so the Beagle comes out in her and she starts yelping and whining and wants out. So my wife's like, "Can you let her out?" I'm like, "Okay." So then I've been up ever since. Actually, you said something about bowling earlier. I went to work on some things at the bowling alley this afternoon.
Oh yeah. What were you
Yep.
working on?
My release.
I got you. Yeah, I'm actually for the first time uh, bowling in a league again after several years of taking a break. I was still bowling the tournament, but with Josie being that age that she was at, it was definitely harder to make it every week. So
Yeah. Rod, I look like I don't know if it's my peripheral, but Rod 4 looked like I got tapped again. That's the fillet.
yeah, I'm actually surprised that one hasn't been pecked to death nonstop. To be honest with you.
You and me both. Yeah. So I bowl on a Tuesday night league, and then I got asked about a month and a half ago if I wanted to bowl on a Thursday night league. That did not play into my um, ending of Snaggin Night Live, but so now that that's over, I have that night free, so I'm going to start bowling Thursday nights as well.
Okay. Yeah,
And then
it'd be just Monday night for me.
the bowling alley that we bowl at holds a doubles tournament in the first Saturday of every month, so it was today. So I want to start bowling that again, and then hopefully we can pick up the state bowling tournament. I don't remember when that is, but
Right. Rebel River said he's tired. He's been laying around the house all day. Worked doubles last week. It was a 3,000-mile week.
wow, I don't know how you do it, Doug. I really don't. My daughter is getting ready to go on a trip out to Colorado, but she's taking the train. So that's gonna be her first solo adventure.
Nice.
I have to call Mark because I have to call Mark to be a bodyguard. She's got a layover, like a 6 hour layover in Chicago. Call Mark and tell him go keep an eye on her for me.
I got you.
uh, I watch too much TV.
I got you.
I really wish she'd be able to. I mean, it's a 6 hour layover. I wish that there was, somewhere where she could keep her luggage and then, go kind of look around the Windy City just to kind of say she's been there and looked at it. But I think she's just going to stay in the train terminal for the entire time.
Fun.
Yeah. It's going to take 2 days to get to Colorado from here by train.
Yeah, that's a hot minute. At least you can nap on the train.
Yeah, I think there's more leg room in a train than there is in a plane too.
I think you're right.
I've never actually been on a train before, but like a commuter train, I've been on a subway, but I've never been on an Amtrak train before that goes across country.
Right.
But the cool thing is, at least on a train, she should, with her phone, should be able to like FaceTime and call whenever, as opposed to a plane where you can't do anything until you land.
Right.
Man, it is getting chilly out here. I'm gonna have to put my heater on in my truck when I get back.
That's pretty bad.
I really should have ate dinner before I came out, but I typically don't bring anything food related with me when I go out on the boat because I don't like touching bait fish, scales, poop, blood,
I don't blame you.
catfish, and then putting something in my mouth. Tell you that's a great weight loss plan if you can go fishing every day.
Yeah, it's definitely one way to do it.
I'm gonna have to get up and walk around again. I'm getting stiff. I was hoping by
Greg,
walking up here that I would get a bite, but nope, no such luck.
Greg said, Dustin, I am starting to get hungry. I think I will go in and finish my boiled shrimp and potatoes and corn. It's just too good.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate that. I did just say I'm hungry, didn't I?
Yeah.
May have to
Later,
keep
Greg. Be
it.
safe. He said later,
All right,
guys.
all right, Greg. Take it easy. Thanks for coming in, man. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. May have to get the drift sock out and climb inside of it again. Yeah, that's the whole reason I wore my coveralls tonight was because I knew it was going to get chilly.
Right.
I like to wear my coveralls even in the summertime at nighttime so that I don't get eaten up my legs. But I knew for tonight I was going to need them because it was going to get cold. Well, cold is relative, 68 degrees
Right.
is, and any other time of the year is a great day. But it's funny how 68 during the day is different than 68 at nighttime.
Right.
I was listening to a TikTok the other day with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he was explaining how heat actually does not exist.
Okay.
It is actually the absence of cold.
Yeah,
Cold does exist. Cold can be measured,
that's fair.
but heat is just the absence of cold. But that was a pretty interesting take.
It is an interesting take.
Another small boat go by me, caused a little bit of ripple in the water. Tell you what, looking out on this water with all this fog, it's probably about like not all of the water has fog, but a good majority of it, and the fog is like a foot and a half, 2 feet off the top of the water. If this was in the movies, it'd be definitely a scary movie scene.
Right.
Water temp's gone down to 87.3. The surface temp almost dropped another 0.3 of a degree. My lines have been in the water so long, there's a spider building a spider web on one of them.
Man, I remember when fishing one time. I fished the whole night, and by the time I finally quit, because I'd done the same thing, I didn't have a lot of bait. I just let them sit out there all night. I had snails that literally crawled more than halfway off the rod. I was like, "Wow, that was my sign."
That's funny.
I mean, what do you do at that point? You know what I mean?
Yep. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Oh, excuse me. I'll tell you what, I am so glad that I'm not going to say cleaned up my boat because my boat is disgusting. But I'm glad that I reorganized a few things. Like I used to have a tote and a tackle box up at the front of the boat, but I have since taken both of those, consolidated everything into a backpack. So I carry the backpack everywhere I go. It's got my scale on it. It's got my all of my tackle, all of my stuff that I need for fishing is in my backpack now. So
I got you.
when I pack up the boat, it's so much easier to pack everything up. I put everything in the front of the boat when I before I pull anchor, and then pull anchor. When I get back to the dock, I don't have to waste much time packing anything up. I tie off, I put on the trailer, and then I lower my tailgate once I get the boat out of the water, and then I just transition everything from the front of the boat to the back of the truck, and off I go.
Definitely works out a lot better when you get a process.
Yes, it does. I'm gonna mute it for a minute.
I got you. And now it's very, very quiet. No dusting.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Come on, fishies. I know you're out there. There's a couple of guys out here on kayaks. I saw them earlier, but they didn't have any lights on their kayaks. Like no navigation lights, no anchor lights.
No, nothing, huh?
And then it wasn't until I got close to them when I was Because like I said before, I go slow at night. I got close to him within probably about 30 yards, and one of them turned on a spotlight and shined it right in my face.
Oh, what a jerk.
I'm like, dude, I see you. I saw you before you did that. You should probably have some light. I didn't say anything, but I'm like, you should probably have some lights on those boats.
And there's definitely some people that you have to wonder about sometimes.
Yes, there is. We appreciate each and every one of you coming in this evening and this morning, because it is 12:30. Hope everybody's enjoyed the show so far. Hopefully, we put a fish in the boat in the next hour and 23 minutes. But if not, we talked. I think I said this before. You know, we come out. We do this show to help people learn.
Yep.
If there's anything out there in reference to a specific fish that we target, species, why we go to where we go, what kind of equipment we use, what kind of bait we use. If we help one person, I think it was a successful show. So we appreciate each and every one of you hanging out with us. I hope you're enjoying the content that we've put out thus far. And if you ever have any thoughts, questions, ideas, please shoot us an email. You can either use my email or our email at teamsnaggingwhiskers@gmail.com, or you can use Anthony's email at
Yaksure at yahoo.com.
We need to work on that transition.
Yeah, that was not good. Sorry.
But yeah, have any thoughts, ideas, suggestions, questions, whatever, just let us know, and we'll be happy to answer them, and maybe even bring it up as a topic on the show. I would know we talked about different styles of fishing. I think we've done pretty much everything but bumping.
I believe you're right.
Targeting. I think the one species of catfish we have not targeted up to this point is a channel cat, and we can probably do that not next week because next week's the tournament, but maybe the week after that.
Right.
We can probably target channel cats because I know that's a whole different beast here on the James River as far as tackle and bait and all that stuff.
Right.
So, but there's only so many things we can do topic wise. So that's why tonight's one of those nights where last week was a bit of a cluster with him with Anthony on the bank, me having to go in due to the storm. So we thought we'd give that a take two for the Bluecats tonight.
Yeah. Hopefully Dustin will catch one.
I hope so.
If nothing else, I've had a pleasant evening, even if it's been sitting in the house.
Yeah, you got a long drive home to go get in your bed too.
Yeah. It's a whole 13 stairs, 14 stairs, something like
that. Here comes somebody else tootling along. That spider on the tip of rod 1 is going up and down my line. Right there at the tip. I'm sure there'll be a spider web from my line to my rod at some point.
I feel like that boat's been by you like 4 or 5 times at this point. I feel like
Maybe.
I've recognized those lights.
Well, there's been a couple of small boats
Oh, okay.
come by.
A friend of mine just messaged me. He's the one that lives on the river.
Oh,
In the last 3 days, there's been a 39, a 35, and I don't remember how big the other one was. It was quite a bit bigger that he caught. Well, he didn't catch, but people have caught in his yard. This
oh,
one had to be at least be 50 pounds. He never told me how much it was, but it had to at least been 50. But he's got a nice ledge right next to the bank. You can catch. It's like 30 feet out from his edge of his yard.
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, I've fished it lots of times. I've caught lots of decent fish there. But it's definitely nice. For sure.
Now my boat's spinning. What's going on? Why is my anchor not holding? Okay, now I'm going back. Come on, kitty cats.
Kitty, 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 kitty.
I know you're here.
Right.
I just had the wake from that last boat that passed.
Oh yeah.
It went up. It went up on the shore, and then it came back and hit the front of the boat. Oh, hello, everybody.
Phew.
I would love to have all 6 rods go down at the same time.
Dude, that would be epic. That would be epic. I would definitely be awake at that point. I mean, I'm sorry, I'd definitely be more awake.
I've had the most I've ever had is 3.
I think that's the most I ever had go off at once too.
I'll just take one and monster.
Sure.
I want that rod to A 5-foot rod to bend in half.
Yeah, it would be cool to see the oh, come on. I'd like to see the headpiece one get
Oh,
smashed
the
down.
effing rod.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rod number 3.
Wouldn't hurt my feelings.
Come on, kitty kitty. And have to get me some of that pizza my wife ordered for dinner when I get home.
Nice.
Hopefully she ordered enough. Not far from this location, probably about 200 yards, maybe 150 yards downriver, which is the closer to rod number 1 in that direction. I actually caught my PB flathead at the time, which was 7 pounds. But I caught it in the middle of December.
That's different.
I think I just dropped the bait right in its mouth, and because I didn't realize what it was. It wasn't until I started reeling it in. It was about halfway up the water column before it actually dug and tried to go back down, but it didn't fight very hard. I thought it was just a stick at first because it was a little heavy.
Sure.
Because I'm thinking the bait probably landed right in front of his mouth, and he opened his mouth to inhale it and then closed it again because that's probably all the energy he had.
I got you.
But I still don't have a monster PB flathead. I think 21 pounds, and I caught my PB twice in one night off the flasher rigs, the 20 pounder and the 21 pounder.
You said you had some of those, but the batteries were dead on them, right?
Yeah, I talked to Kevin about it, and it's on his website. Because the batteries are so small, even if they're not used, they tend to go dead at some point.
Gotcha.
And I had those. I had them for. I didn't realize that. I didn't read the website. I just ordered the bag because I thought I'd be, they would last. If they weren't used, the battery wouldn't die, but battery still dies. So.
Sure.
But he did do. I don't know if you saw his. I think it was a TikTok or YouTube video he did on the flasher itself.
Yeah.
He did a time lapse, and the water evaporated out of the flasher or out of the glass, and the flasher itself got all rusted inside the water, but it still worked after 2 weeks
Oh wow. Okay.
of constant flashing in the underwater. So he ran out of memory cards, or else he would have done a whole time lapse on it. But so he just cut the camera off.
Wow.
So it looks like The flashers will last 2 to 4 weeks,
Yeah, still.
but then you'll have to change it out.
Right.
So if you order any of those, you can get them from fatboyrigs.com or you can go to FOA Customs and Gear. We don't have a discount code for Fatboy Rigs, but I can. We have our, like I said, our discount codes for FOA are in the description. But if you go to fatboyrigs.com and order them directly from him, you can customize the colors you want on your floats and your beads and all that stuff. Um, he has his own hooks now, so Fatboy hooks are what he uses on those rigs. And the flasher rig is definitely his most popular. But like I said, after 2 to 3 or 4 weeks, the flasher dies on it. So you either have to buy a new rig or you're going to have to buy a pack of the rigs, the flashers. But just be careful with that because, like I said, I got 3 or 4 because I failed to read the website. I got 3 or 4 flashers in the bag still that I thought were still good but aren't. So that's on
Way to
me.
go. Way to go.
I know. Oh, come on, kitty. But all the rigs for Fatboy rigs have 3-inch EVA foam floats. Say that 3 times fast.
I'd say words are hard.
Especially when you're tired.
Sure.
Um, and I think they're on 80-pound Andy Monster leader line. And you can
Speak.
order all sorts of colors. He has a plain Jane float. He has them with rattles, without rattles. He's honored a couple of people like Laura the Explorer's got her own rig. LG Bass has got his own rig. He's got a Steelers rig. That's just the colors.
Yeah. Speaking of the leader line, though, I finally got my crimps that I was supposed to get for Father's Day.
Oh, nice.
I'll be giving them a shot one of these next times I'm out.
You're gonna have to let me know how that works out for you speed wise.
Well, it definitely doesn't look like it'd be too bad. I'm hoping to not have a bunch of bags of pre-tied rigs. Because if it just takes a couple minutes to tie on a new rig, then I should be good. Especially with me. So I like using this the rattle floats, the Nina Spooks,
Yep.
Nina's Ninjas. Um, those with the little rubber tubing that you can get for
Yep.
those too.
Yep.
That's my favorite setup. I mean, that's not a knot. So literally, I would snell first. I would do a little overhand knot at the very end of it. Snell the hook up to that overhand knot. Go through a tube. Go through the spook. Go up to my swivel. Crimp it and be done with it.
There you go.
That's the plan. And whether or not I crimp to the main line or not is a debate. But I don't think I would. I think I probably just crimp the leader and that's it, and just tie to the main line. Um, because as long as the swivel's good and as long as the main line's good above it, I could, if it goes bad, just cut the leader off right there at the swivel and then just crimp the new one on at that
Yep.
point. And the nice thing about that is I don't have to worry about having, pre-tied rigs that are like for dragging. I really like a longer rig. Like I aim for probably
Right.
3 feet on my dragging rigs, whereas my bumping rig's probably is about 3 feet too because of the extra the what's it called, the ball swivel.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure you can crimp that too. Um, But with that, instead of doing the several ball chain swivel, what it's called, I might just do a single uh, ball bearing swivel instead. If it, I had to wait and see how if it tangled up worse bumping or not. One, because those ball bearings are easier to find. The ball bearing swivels are easier to find, but then um, going back to the minimizing tackle thing, I'd only have to have that size swivel. I could use it for everything.
Right.
And especially with, I mean, my boat's smaller, so being able to minimize that is key.
Always a benefit.
And it works for bank anglers too. Obviously, you don't want to be carrying 17 different bags of pre-tied rigs or tackle things. If I have in my head, if this works out right, I would have a total of 4 tackle boxes. One that's sinkers, one that's hooks, and the swivels and the crimps would be on the same box. One that's like the floats and the duo pop rattles. I do have those. I like those too sometimes. And then the Nina spooks. And I guess for me, the floats with the duo pop rattles, I don't always want the rattles. That's obviously what the floats are for. But I really like doing the duo pop rattles with a couple extra beads when I'm using live bait. Because in my head, that bait can still swim around, do its thing without having the float making it move and do funky stuff. But no matter what it does, if it bumps something, goes around a rock, whatever, it's still going to make that rattle shake, which will get fish curious, in my opinion. But then I have those extra beads on there. Like I think I do 5. I do between, depends on the size of the bead. I do between 4 and 6 beads, and then the rattle.
Okay.
For the same purpose of there being a gap between the hook and like the float. People worry about the fish crunching the float and not getting the hook in their mouth. Yes. Please tell me he's on there.
Oh,
are you serious?
How dang it, he had that. Did you see that? Hold on. Yep, he's there.
Oh, good.
I think he's a little one.
I was gonna say, how did he not hook up? That was a huge takedown. That was a huge takedown.
I'm gonna go and reel him in. If he's on there, he's small. Oh, there he is.
Fish is a fish. Still feel small?
Nope. There he is.
Uh-oh. Rebel said, take care. I must have just missed that comment. I was talking. He said, take care, everyone. I'm starting to doze off. Catch you next time. Be safe out there, Dustin.
All right, will do. Hope he didn't snag me up on something.
I hope he didn't either. That's the only downfall of sitting and waiting to see what they do, is they get that extra chance to do that.
I definitely felt him a couple of times.
And that was on one of the backstrap pieces?
Yep.
Come on, fishy.
I feel like I'm snagged on something now.
That's no fun.
I think what I'm going to do is just put the bait clicker on and let it go and see if if it's still on there, if he unsnags me.
I don't blame you. That's probably the best call for sure. That was a good takedown, though, man.
It sure was. And then when I started reeling in, I didn't feel him at first.
Right.
And then so I stopped, and then as I started putting the rod back, and then I lifted up on it again, and then he pulled again.
Right. Man. It was definitely nice to see a rod bend at least.
Yeah. At least we had a takedown. And that, again, that's the 5-foot rod too.
Right.
Starting to see a little bit of activity underneath me. Water's down to 86.9.
Yeah, one thing I missed doing when I was back before my daughter was born, my wife worked for Walmart, so we had opposite schedules. There would be, if I ever got a day off during the week or even on a weekend, I would stay out the whole night from sunset to sunrise. I miss those nights fishing. Those were always productive because you always caught the window whenever it was. You know what I mean? Whether it be the witching hour of the evening or the last bit of daylight or nighttime before the dawn.
Yeah.
You get to fish the whole entire set of windows, which I was always a fan of.
All right, so rod 1 has the bait clicker on. I don't know if if it's just hung up or if it's still got a fish on it. I don't know. If it's still got a fish, he's not very active.
Time will tell.
I got some debris on my lines here. There's some sticks and twigs on lines 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
Because the tide's definitely going out now.
Okay.
But I think butter or sunshine is actually holding us from spinning to the left. See if I can clear this debris real quick. I changed rod 6 to a suspended rod.
Oh yeah.
I just thought I'd try something different. Get it off the bottom. See what happens.
Definitely can't hurt.
One downside, one of the other downsides I think we talked about before too, with having a tidal river is when the tide goes up and
Yeah.
goes up river, it grabs all that loose debris, sticks and twigs and all that stuff that's on the bank, and then when it flips, it sucks it all back down river.
Yeah.
That's what I'm dealing with right now. Is a lot of debris. The tide's flowing, going out, but there's a lot. It's taking a lot of debris with it. Sticks and stuff hitting the lines.
Oh, okay.
Come on, fishies. You got to be hungry.
One would think.
I try not to. I will say I'm glad I picked up. I'm glad that stick hit rod number 5 because when I checked it, the drag was completely loose.
Oh, okay.
Just a reminder to make sure you check the drag on all your rods when you cast them out for the first time. I will say one of the first rod I got from Freddie from FOA was the 5-foot rod.
Uh huh.
And the very first thing I reeled up on that 5-foot rod in this location, probably a little closer to the bank, a little farther downriver, was a kayak anchor.
Oh, wow. Really? That's crazy.
Man, there's a lot of debris in the water. The boat in front of me when I got to the ramp tonight was one of those cabin cruisers. It was a monstrous boat. I was getting nervous with those things, trying to whether you're going to launch them or launching's not so bad. It's the pulling them back up. Are you going to get like is your truck going to be able to handle it? Are you going to start spinning out? Or
Yeah. Well, you never know.
saw a guy at Ancaro's boat ramp in the city. This was a couple years ago, and he had a Ford Explorer, it was a Ford Bronco, it was one of the older ones, or maybe it was a Suburban, I don't remember. But it was an SUV of some sort. It was one of the bigger SUVs. But regardless of the size of the SUV, it was pulling a 24-foot cabin cruiser.
Why?
That's a great question. The first time he got it on the trailer, it was crooked. He tried to pull it out crooked, like it wasn't sitting on the trailer right. And then when he finally got it straight on the trailer, like he spun his tires the entire way up the ramp just to get that boat off that ramp.
That's nuts.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't blow his transmission too.
Right. It definitely could have.
So the back end of the boat is facing a little bit more downriver now because the tide's going out, but I think the anchor is stopping it from going any farther.
Okay.
Unless another boat comes by, of course, and kind of shakes it free.
There's always that.
But on every one of these rods is a float, so it's a Carolina, or there's a Santee Cooper rig on all of my setups.
Yeah,
What's that?
I would say I almost always run Santee Cooper style at this point. It just even if, unless I'm in a tournament setting, I might have one or two that don't, just to try something different. But the fact that they don't tank or snag as much is huge.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite part. And to me, I don't think that typically it matters that much, especially in current.
Yeah. I mean, the current's going to pick your bait up off the bottom anyway.
Right. Kev, Mark, what's up, buddy? He said, "Hey, Dustin had to say hello before bed, man.
What's up, man? Thanks for
How's
coming in,
fishing
bud.
been?
Slow.
There's currently a fish on rod number 1. It's in a tree or something.
We hope.
Yeah, well, yeah, and we're hoping that it'll come back out.
I love your optimism.
Yeah, well, got to be positive.
That's right. Nope.
Number 5 just dislodged. Looks like.
Yep. Looks like it's dragging across the bottom. I knew it was hung up on something. I just didn't want to go mess with it. I figured it would pop itself free eventually. Hey, Mark, it's Mark from Catfishing Crappie, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I was just saying earlier, my daughter is going to take the train from here in Richmond to Colorado, and her long, I think, a 6-7 hour layover, she'll be in Chicago. I know that's your neck of the woods. Yeah, Mark, I struggled getting bait tonight. I was only able to get one shad before we came down here and started fishing, so I haven't changed baits all night. Been hooked up since about 10:45.
Yeah, something like that.
Bait's been in the water since about 10:45, and we had one good bite on rod number 1, and I don't know if he's on there or not. I think it's hung up, but I turned the bait clicker on and put it in a free spool to see if something's still on there, if it can work itself free. Rod number 6, it was cast out, but it was so close, got hooked onto a piece of debris floating down the river, so I just reeled it up to where it was off the bottom, So now I'm suspending rod number 6. Rod number 3 has a headpiece. Rod number 4 has a fillet. Rods 1, 2, and 6, I believe, have backstrap chunks. And rod number 5 has a chunk of the guts and stuff still attached to that part of the body of the fish. So we'll see what happens. I've been doing a one shad challenge for tonight, just because it was so hard finding. I was out about an hour and 45 minutes on the water actively looking for bait before the show started, and I couldn't find anything.
Shanna has her fingers crossed. She woke up and came down here for a minute, but she has fingers crossed that fish comes out for you. He was just telling about how he's doing a one shad challenge because he only was able to find one live shad the whole time. It's the only bait he's got for the whole night.
Concerning.
Oh, and she just opened the door to see if it was raining. It's absolutely downpouring.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
glad you decided to stay home.
I made the right call. Yep.
Wonder how Big Mike's doing.
I'm guessing he's wet. But I hope he was at least able to catch a fish if he did stop fishing before he left. Obviously, I don't wish anybody bad luck fishing wise. I take it back. I don't wish anybody who's fishing legally and ethically to not catch a fish.
Good morning, Mrs. Jack.
He said good morning. Yeah, she said
Bless
sneeze, sneeze, sneeze. Yep. Bless you, Ethan. Always in threes. Mark said Union Station is down. It stops downtown. It's not really his neck of the woods. It's about 1.2 hours away.
Oh, wow.
In not rush hour. And he said, all you can do is try, man. Fishing ain't easy. That's why some go and play golf. He said, I, all caps, never go on the river without bait. I have a phobia of not being able to find bait. Mark also said, bless you. I guess you could hear it. He could hear it. So, yeah, everybody heard it.
Not bad.
As long as I don't start calling you Sneezy, we're good.
Why would you put that out there?
Everybody's got to have a nickname.
Yeah, you have to have another one if you don't stop it.
Married life. The best life.
Absolutely.
10 years this year. For all those anybody who's curious. But so you got you and your wife celebrated yours back at the gathering. I can't remember how many years you said though.
20.
20.
May 15th was 20 years married. We've been together for 22 or 23 years.
That's awesome.
July 18th, I celebrated my 20 years at my job.
That's a lot of 20s. July 20th is 20 years at his job. May 15th is 20 years with his wife. And Mark
February would be 20 years. My daughter will turn 20.
In February, his daughter will turn 20.
Wow.
It's a year of 20s. Mark said it'd be 30 years in October for he and his wife.
That's cool.
Congratulations.
October what, Mark? Ours is the 30th.
Halloween babies. Or Halloween marriage.
I may or may not have done that on purpose. It's her favorite holiday, and that way I can remember it.
Ah.
Well, you're going to have a Halloween wedding with your mom.
Yeah, I tried doing a Halloween wedding with my mom. My mom wouldn't go for it. Said she wouldn't come if I did, so.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I believe her, 100%. Mark's is the 14th of October.
My wife's birthday is October 6th.
It is working? Yeah. Good. Sorry, what was that, Dustin?
So my wife's birthday is October 6th.
October 6th is his wife's birthday. We're all intertwined. Such a small world.
That's right.
Well, I got to ask you, man. There's 40 minutes left. So what are you going to do to get this fish out of there?
It's a good question. Typically, what I'll do is now I don't have my trolling motor hooked up because I don't know if my batteries will work the trolling motor. So um, typically, I turn my trolling motor on and I'd reel everything in, and I'd slowly try to creep on the other side of that rod to see if it's whatever it's stuck on will come unstuck. But
I got you.
I don't know what
Well,
I'm going to do yet. I'm hoping I might just kind of let some line out, put my thumb on it, let some line out, and see if he's still on there.
sure. Mark said their first date was on Friday the 13th.
Oh wow!
Butt off.
That's cool.
Good thing you're James, not Jason
Yeah.
or Freddie.
Well, I would say if you do give him line of your thumb on there and he doesn't move, I know what I would do.
What's that?
But what I would do is reel on all the other rods and slowly try to get downstream with the snag. Because my
Oh,
guess is he probably swam upstream into it.
that's exactly what I'm going to do. Is if it's maybe with about 20 minutes to go, so in about 17 minutes I'll reel in all the lines and I'll put everything up and then give me a few minutes, hopefully, so if there is a fish on there, that we'll be able to reel and put him in the boat during the show.
But I say as hard as he smacked that, I think it could be a decent fish if he's still on there. But I also think that with your leader line and that reel and the amount of drag you have on it, you might end up dragging up a tree with a fish in it.
Yeah,
I've done that a couple times myself.
I've done that before too.
Have a good night, Mark. Be safe, man.
All right, Mark. Thanks for coming in, man.
He said, heading to bed. Stay safe. Good luck with that fish.
Thanks. Oh. I can't tell if somebody's on a boat or if somebody's still fishing on that dock when they're not supposed to be.
Ain't no
I know
telling, man.
my dad, when he lived here, he used to fish that dock when my sister would drop him off during the day, and then he would tell her, "Don't come back until I call you." And he'd stay. He'd try to stay all night. One time he got caught by the park ranger or game warden or whatever. He didn't
What'd
get
they
a
say
ticket
to
or
him?
anything, but
Just a stern warning.
yeah.
I know the river park's supposed to be closed after dark, but there's a kayak launch. I've fished off of it many times in the middle of the night. Well, they don't close the gate, so they close the gate on one part of it at sunset, but then the other part they leave open. So, and there's people
Yeah.
that they're not supposed to be. They go walking in that part of the river park, 2, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning before work.
Yep.
Man, I was out there one day. I was a little spooked then, a little bit. I was fishing that dock, and lady was walking with her 2 dogs, and we have a leash law in Chattanooga, but her dogs were not on the leash. And I shuffled or something, and the dogs heard me, and both took off down towards where I was at.
Oh.
Which would have been fine. I mean, worst case scenario, I would have jumped in the river if I had to, right? Well,
Right.
worst case scenario, I'd have beat him with something, but I could have jumped in the river. I mean, I had options. It wasn't that big of a deal. There was only one way onto that dock. But she called him back, and it was all good. But
What kind of dogs were they?
I couldn't even tell you. The one might have been like a boxer mix or something. They weren't small, but they weren't massive either. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, now you got me thinking about it. I definitely think it was at least one of them was part boxer. The other one I couldn't tell you. But yeah, that particular dock I fished a lot. Used to fish it before work.
Huh.
If I had to be there at 7, I'd go and get down there at 4:30 and fish till 6:30, and then go on to work. Luckily, it never happened, but I always consider what would happen if I hooked a fish at 6:30. If it was a big fish,
Well, you reel it in, of course.
well, obviously, just how would I explain that to my boss? Sorry, I was late. I was reeling the fish in.
Just like that.
Called it
Priorities, man.
Need to get this cleaned up and get another chair over for you for night tech tonight. Bob said, by the way, that if whatever we do tomorrow doesn't help it, it could be that he said the same thing that Chase did. It could be that power box thing.
What power box thing?
It's where the computer chip is.
Boy.
Yeah,
Because that's not fixable by us.
it is fixable by us. You can buy it. That's the cheapest one I found. Most of them are around the $150 range.
Oh, well, okay.
So I mean, it's something. Doesn't mean I got the money for it, but hopefully we'll get around tomorrow. But if we replace that and it still doesn't work, then
It's time to talk to Dad.
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because I don't know what to do at that point.
He'll say he has one look at it, but if it's not going to run, there's no point in having one look at it. They'll just charge a bunch of money and be like, yeah, it's not fixable.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Do what?
Got a big moth flying around.
Yeah, I would have got soaked, Dustin. It's just downpouring over here.
Wow.
She just opened the door. I could almost see the rain in the dark. That's how big the raindrops are.
Goodness. Yep. I got stars in the sky here.
I wish I could hear the rain in the room.
Enjoy.
You hear what sounds like a trolling motor propeller out of the water. But I can't see a boat attached to it.
Gotcha.
I think if there was a fish still attached to that or hook, on that hook on rod number 1, we'd be seeing more movement. I don't think there's anything on there anymore.
I think you're probably right. The only way that would be not the case if he was completely wrapped around a tree branch.
Yeah.
But we'll know in what, 10 minutes?
Yep.
I'm hopeful, man.
We'll start the process to find out in about 10 minutes.
I got you.
I have a non-fishing question.
Okay.
Why do I take the transmission out with motor? And how? That's one big long piece.
When you take the motor mounts out and lift that up, it'll just swing forward and come up. It's because it's just the way the motor's put together. Because otherwise you have to take it apart and drop it, and that's what got Josh stuck when he was trying to redo the one on the other truck he had when he was on at Grady's. And Ira took the
red truck.
whichever other one he had.
Not a lot of trucks.
He has, but one of me drew the transmission on. He had it sit on a 4x4, or sorry, he had it sit on the jack, and his brother-in-law took the jack and put a 4x4 under it.
Oh, I remember that because it was a nightmare.
Yeah, and it took me and him lifting it up to get it up there enough for him to be able to bolt it back in.
Yeah, but they don't have a cherry picker.
Correct.
We'll have one.
But they also didn't take the motor block out. But there was like 6 more pieces he had to take out and go move around it.
All right, so if the engine's the same size anyway, because there's really no room for clearance in there. Oh, heck, you. swing it up.
So almost all the stuff on there's like 3 things you have to remove from the top, and literally everything else will come out one piece.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, because the year of that truck.
Okay.
Much simpler times.
I woke up thinking about it. Sorry.
No electronic pieces.
I apologize. I woke up thinking about it.
She's got a 93 Chevy C1500 step side.
Sidestep.
Right.
Side step, sorry. That was her dad's. He gave it to her brother at one point. He completely demolished it basically. And it sat in her mom's yard for forever
10
until
years.
her dad passed away and the house burned down.
Wow.
She was gonna junk it, but Shannon wanted to rebuild it. And the deal was if we got to rebuild it, our daughter could have it. So it's currently in my backyard, but yeah, we're looking at working on it too. It's why my boat funds are being halted.
We had a deal.
I know, I'm just being funny.
I know, but I'm letting them know we had a deal.
It is a deal. It's all good.
It's not my fault people broke up.
Oh, that hurt. She just said I broke the boat. That hurts. Push that knife a little deeper. Sheesh.
Liz, I put a lot of effort into
Chilly out here.
You only got to suffer another 30 minutes, Dustin. You could do it.
Oh,
Why do you want to
27.
call it?
It's chilly up there.
Oh, I believe it.
He said it's supposed to be at 60. He says in the 60s now, right? They're supposed to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mid 60s right now. Probably around 65, 66.
Well, you know what the water temperature's up there? 88 degrees. The air temperature, you know how cool it was here today? I mean, obviously it's further north, it's worse up there.
I was saying, it was pretty cool. I was surprised.
It's 86.9 degrees right now, water temp.
It's dropped 2 degrees since the water temp has since he started fishing.
Right?
And apparently his wife ordered pizza for dinner tonight too. Great minds think alike.
That was definitely my idea.
Rod 5, Dustin.
I'm looking.
He did something. I saw it. It didn't look like a dislodge.
Yeah, I'm standing behind the camera. I just had to walk around. I can't sit down much. I'm going to pass out.
That's the only downfall of the night fishing. Of course,
Yep.
Then again, I have almost dozed off during the day too. Come on, fishy.
Come on. We know you're there. We know you're out there.
5 is definitely still doing something right. I'm not crazy.
Well, I am kind of moving around on the boat too, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
No telling.
Can't tell if there's a lot of debris at the bottom. I thought maybe it was a fish at one point.
Nothing yet.
I had to pull my arms in my shirt because my arms are getting cold. So if I get a fish, I'll be armless.
Okay, yeah, that might be from you moving the boat. That was a little more wave-like on number 5. Ah, that's funny. Looks like a goofball his arms inside the shirt.
Well, it's cold. Don't be a jerk.
I'm not being a jerk. He's the. All right, that was the clicker, right?
That was the clicker.
Signs of life.
That's the only one I have a clicker on too.
Signs of life.
The question is that did it do that because the boat is turning and I was rocking, or did the fish decide he wanted to, if he was attached, if he wanted to make a little tug?
I mean, I could be wrong, but usually when it's from the boat swinger to something, it's usually more than once, and it's usually sporadic, like a single click, and then a single click, and then a single
Right.
click. Whereas that was a couple clicks back to back, I think, if I heard it correctly.
Well, we'll find out in a few minutes. I definitely looked and I didn't see any debris on the line, so that's not what it was.
What's your PB flathead?
PB flathead 21.
Hope it's a 22-pound flathead.
I'm looking more for like a 40-pound flathead.
Well, don't get me wrong, I'd be happy with that too, but baby steps, baby steps. PB first, then we can go for monsters.
I think I'm gonna take my boat straight home tonight because tomorrow morning when I get up, I'm gonna try to fix the brake, or the tail light is out on the trailer, but the brake light and the blinkers still work. So it's just a loose wire somewhere.
Gotcha.
And then I'm gonna replace the marker light too. So
Speaking of, what is the purpose of the U-shaped piece in the middle?
that is a tow bar for skis or tube.
Oh, okay. No, that totally makes sense. It's just a funky shape. You know, normally if you have one that's like a brace for the motor, usually it's square, you know, so
Right. Nope, that is a tow bar.
that
This
works
is
though.
a pleasure craft.
Yeah.
A pleasure boat I've turned into a catfishing boat.
So still a pleasure craft.
It is. My daughter really wants to use it as a. She really wants to go tubing before the end of the summer, but I told her we're gonna have to do some scrubbing on this thing. Oh, there it went again.
Signs of life, Shane. The clicker's still going. Got 21 minutes left in the show.
Okay, I'll go start reeling everything in and.
Will Dustin complete the one shad challenge?
I'll get my arms back out of my sleeves here. Glad you pointed out what time it was.
I do believe I would leave rod number 5 alone till the second to last, if it was me, as well.
Yeah, that bait's warm.
Off color much?
Oh yeah, white. All right, one rod down. Ooh, it's getting foggier.
Heard it again.
That might have been me.
Okay.
This would be the fillet. Still attached. That fillet kind of wrapped my line all up on itself. This thing was just sitting down there spinning.
Right.
another rod in. Headpiece is still on. You still with me?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, just making sure. Didn't hear anything.
I'm here.
All right. Next rod's down. Bait still intact.
Come on, fishy. Come on, guys. If you're in chat still with us. He's down to the last 2 rods. We have seen taps on rod number 5, which is the one to the right-hand side of the screen. And then we have the one that he's standing over still that we think has a fish on it, or hopefully has a fish on it. But time will tell.
All right, I'll go ahead and pull 5 in. That was me. Definitely me.
That's how much the truck can haul.
Man, all of these are wrapped around like the current was spinning them down there.
Well, that could be bad.
You're wrong.
What do you mean I'm wrong?
Hey, look, I see how much weight you have inside the vehicle, including people and cargo and stuff.
Yeah.
Right, towing capacity is how much the
Oh, I see what you're saying. Got you.
All right. Now the fun part. Let's see what happens.
Come on, fishy. Fingers crossed, Shanna.
All right, let's see. I'm going to pull the anchor back here. and hope whatever. Okay, good. That fish was stuck on, the line stuck on, wasn't hooked on the anchor too.
That'd have been interesting.
Oh, boat's definitely spinning now.
Right.
I'll try everything I can to try to get that line free. I know. All right, this is going to be the fun part.
You got this, man. You got this.
Is there a fish?
You know, he's going. Well, I don't know. We don't know for sure yet or not. He's moving the boat now to get downstream of it.
Oh, it came loose. Nope,
No
there's
fish.
no fish on it. Nope.
Darn it. Darn it. No fish.
But the bait's gone.
But the bait's gone. Man, that was a good takedown, too. He must have ripped it off there and then he got stuck in a tree. Or whatever. Log, something.
Yeah, who knows?
Darn it, man.
We tried.
We did.
Maybe next time I can go. I just worry about the city. Like the boat ramp that we launch at in the city is not bad during the daytime, but it's a bit sketchy at nighttime.
Sure.
And I know I've been successful at that area at nighttime, but without, just being me, I'm not going to go up in the city.
I definitely
I typically try to avoid going to the city at night with just myself if I can.
definitely get you.
And then I want to go downriver, but I don't want to go downriver because that's big water. I don't want to go downriver by myself either.
Also
I
fair.
don't want to take any chances of something happening to me being all the way downriver. So we'll make something work at some point.
Sounds good, man. Well, everybody, we were unable to get a fish tonight. We did see a good takedown. We did. Oh, take it back. That's not true. He did catch a fish. It was a shad. Turned into a one shad challenge. We did see a takedown afterwards. We did see a couple of taps. The fish just did not cooperate.
Sorry if that's loud.
Well, it's obnoxious, but it's anchor. What do you do?
Haven't had that anchor out in so long. I almost forgot how to put it away.
Right.
Oh, Beck's tightening up. Yay. All right.
Got any words of wisdom for those who are still here joining us?
Yeah, don't fish this spot right now.
At this time of year, when is this hot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, the fish I think are biting downriver, or maybe upriver because the water changes more, and we got the water coming from the mountains up in the city. But I think the bigger fish are, because it's bigger water, they're probably down, and it's more consistent, comfortable water temperatures for them. They're probably downriver where there's deeper holes.
I got you.
But we'll get there someday. We'll get there. We'll catch some more fish again.
Sure.
But all you can do is come out and try, right? That's why they call it fishing, not catching.
100%. Well, hopefully you guys learned a couple things about going after blue catfish, or if nothing else, going after catfish in general. I know Dustin appreciates you being here. I appreciate you being here. As for next week, who knows what'll happen? I hope to get the boat running. Maybe I can actually be out there fishing again, or at least maybe it won't rain so I can go fishing on the bank again.
Well, next week is the tournament.
Never mind. Sorry. Next week we're taking off. That is right. Next week.
But if you're interested, we have Brian B's channel, Chad Feels the Water, and Kevin from Palmetto Cats. We're having the I can't remember what it is. It's something like the trifecta challenge.
Yeah, it's about getting all 3 species.
Yep.
It's
so that will be running from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. next Saturday night into Sunday morning.
Yep. So definitely check that out. Chad and Brian also being FOA members.
Yep.
So we definitely support them and what they're doing. And if you like to see any of the gear or want to try any of the gear you saw today or we talked about today, you can use TSW10 or Yak10 over at FOAcustomsgear.com. Again, my name's Anthony, also known as Yak.
I'm Dustin, Team Snaggin Whiskers.
Appreciate you guys coming by, and hopefully we'll see you guys again very soon.
Right. Have a great rest of your weekend.